YouTube and Facebook. Just hold on there. We've got Kieran Walsh coming on tonight, and I just got to make sure that this showing what we need it to show. We're on air live. Got my other. This microphone can go. I think it goes that way. So let's put that one on this one. I got my 3. We're hooked up. I'll go check YouTube, do the welcome, and Kieran should be on in about 5 minutes. So I can't wait to. I've got lots of. Oh, I did. I did the thing I didn't want to do. Here we are, guys. Plug it back in. Unplugging the. That leads to a horrible. I gotta get up in without knocking over this new chair, without knocking over the monitor. Get up. I'm in. I should be able to wheel my way closer. There we go. Put this over there for Kieran. Set up with all the stuff. Ready to go. We'll check YouTube. Here we go, folks. Are we live? Let's see. It says we are live. Hit click on it. Here we go, folks. And we have audio. We're there. You could see Kira. All right. We got the Big Easy bottle in there. We got that. Mm-hmm. I'll do my quick welcome, everybody, to our Warm You Up podcast tonight. We have Kieran Walsh from Big Easy Spirits promoting Big Easy Whiskey tonight. We monitor comments, so let us know where you're from and what you're sipping on. What you drinking? And where are you from? All right, that is up. Hopefully 8:30 people start to show up, because that's the time to start to show up. But we're live. For whatever reason, last time we went crazy live. Once we were live, we're live again. And oh man. Okay, that wasn't good. I'll get this over here back on. Let me see if I can get that up. Yep, we're live on YouTube. Thanks everybody for joining us on YouTube. We will be going. Oh, what is going on that won't do that? Okay, there we go. Monitoring comments, ready to go. All right, we're loaded. I'm loaded here. Make sure that's ready to go. Everything. All right, so Kieran should be joining us in a couple seconds. And let me get that centered. It's hard to center the bottle in the spinny cart. Real quick, to do this, everybody on YouTube, our sponsor, we're going to pay a couple bills right here. Whiskey Thief Distilling Company in Frankfort, Kentucky, along with Louisville and the New Louis area at their tasting room, is a barrel pick all day, every day. Price of admission, if you go to the Frankfort location, it's on a farm, a working farm. You go down, in the barn is their still. They give you a tour. Then they let you taste from 5 barrels. They will thief them right into your glass. You taste them. If you like one, they'll allow you to, for the price of the bottle, fill your own, thief your own bottle. You get to go thief yourself, as Walter Zausch, the owner and operator, fantastic guy, fantastic people making fantastic whiskey. Whiskey Thief Distilling Company in Frankfurt. Remember, they are uncut and filtered, just like the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. Real quick, this is their straight whiskey, their Michelob brand. They just opened their 72,000 square foot brand new distillery. It's going to be 2 years in March, so they're starting to get stuff that should be starting to get ready soon. And then they have their Columbus original distillery, craft distillery, that they still offer tours and tasting, and their service bar. You got to check out these Michelob products. They're cask strength. They're on in 48 states. Check it out. They got their wheat whiskey, they got their wheated 4-grain bourbon, and they got their pumpernickel rye. Middle West Spirits, Columbus, Ohio. We've got William Dalton, which is the Spirit of French Lick, in French Lick, Indiana. If you get down there, you got to stop at the French Lick Winery and Distillery there. Fantastic. They've got the casino right across the street. They got the hotel, everything. And then you got to check this out, because the William Dalton brand, the Solomon Scott Ryes, their Lee W. Sinclair, and then also their Matty Gladdens are all fantastic bourbons. Check them out. Spirit of French Lick. If you get down there on any of the 3 places, tell them Tiny sent you. And then remember Alan Bishop, who was at the Spirit of French Lick and is now at Old Homestead. He has One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube. It answers all distilling questions, whether you're commercial or you're a home distiller. He will write in, let him know, and he will get you set up and answer your questions. And then he also has, if you have ghosts, you have everything. The best of both worlds, the spirit industry and the spiritual world. You got to check out Alan Bishop's. If you have ghosts, you have everything. Woo! I'm ready to go. Matt just said he just finished snowblowing for the second time. Yeah, you guys, we got that squall too. It's crazy. They weren't saying anything about snow, Matt. It's just crazy, 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 crazy. We got Walker on. Cheers. Glad to see you. Can't wait to get this going with Kieran. He should be in momentarily. Let's hope that we said he could come in about 8:15. We're going to be doing the Big Easy. Very excited for this tonight. The Big Easy is, and I'm going to let him describe it. So I think all the microphones are working. I think we're ready. We're ready to go. I think I might have said coming in at 8:28. But I got everything. I think I was on top of my game tonight. I'm wondering whether I should go with the Ray-Bans. They were in all the promos, so it wouldn't be out of line. And Meta was very, very kind of cool. I'll give it out there. Do the Ray-Bans work or don't they work, guys? That's the question. Nah, when I got to look at, I mean, it is a look. I have to admit, it's a look. It is a look. But when I look at the screen, I don't see Kieran. So I'm going to be talking to Kieran right here. And so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's crazy how much snow we're getting, and it is not gonna melt. You know what I mean? That's the unbelievable thing. This polar vortex, that the reason why we're getting yeah, I gotta actually see tonight. I will skip that, but I like the look. I definitely like the look. Need the gong for there's no need for the gong. I think everybody, morning, K23434. Yeah, I got the Big Easy Bourbon on the Banks, or bourbon New Orleans Bourbon Festival shirt. Yeah, that's like nice. The Yes guy says hello. There's a guy from the Ebony Warriors from Florida, and he's drinking Jim Beam. That's awesome. We support Jim Beam here. We've got C. Dwayne drinking Woodford Reserve Double Oak, which we did last week. Can't wait. Now I got to get the glass. Hold on, since Kieran's not here yet, but I do have my ice glass, which this is something that you do is you want to put this one on the rocks. Let's see if I can get it out. Is it here? There it is. Aha. So I'll be putting this neat and on the rocks tonight. Love it. Hopefully. There we go. It's funny because I have so many coasters. Wow. Get up there, get into place again. I gotta move down a little bit here just to make sure. All right. Got the hat, the shirt. Yep. We're doing all right. We'll get this going. It starts at 8:30. Kieran should be on momentarily. I hope he should be on. We'll see. He did connect with me through let's say he connected with me earlier today through LinkedIn. So hopefully I've got the wedge ice glass. Let's see if I can pull out. I should do this participants at the moment so I can see if he's trying to come in. That I can do. That gives me that. All right, I am in. So we're at 8:20. So I always get nervous at this point with having a guest because I'm not sure if it's all going to work, but it should work. This should be exciting. I'm looking forward to doing this one. We're back with guests. Amy, who used to work at Buffalo Trace, was able to work with Harlan Wheatley through Amy, and she helped us set up that podcast. And it's kind of cool. But here we go. It's awesome. You're there. How can you hear me?
I can hear you.
And I can hear you too. Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Excited to be on this. I wanted to make sure I let you know that my daughter goes by the name Tiny also, but she's Tiny Senior.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to play junior to her.
Okay. Yeah, that nickname stuck with me when I was from a long time ago, and then when I started the podcast, it kind of made sense.
Sure, I dig it.
So, yeah, we're live. We're live on YouTube and Facebook already. Shared to all the groups. So
what's up, YouTube and Facebook Live?
Yep, and excited about this. We've been what would you say? We've been trying to up. I've been trying to up the game of the podcasts. We're we're a decent sized podcast. We get a good following on Facebook and YouTube, and then also on like Apple and iHeart and whatnot. But I just been looking at it. Well, it's funny because AI seems to be helping out a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like I've got an assistant. There's no way that the podcast it earns enough to pay for a couple of your trips. It earns enough to pay for some of the equipment, but but that's kind of it. So it's not like there's salary money for somebody to work for you. And so it's funny that how quick and fast you can get informations and what would you say layouts for the podcast, and it's just, and then imagery is so much fun. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail that we did, but it was
Oh no, I missed it.
okay. Well, actually, I probably can show you right here on the screen. Oh, wait, I could hit. Let's see. I'm going to share the screen. Is it there? There it is. And I'm going to hit share. There it is. I played up the Polar Vortex.
Nice.
So,
Oh, I did see that. Oh, yeah, you did great on that. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I saw that when you shared it, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember taking that picture.
well, it's funny because you can what does it do? You can let me get you back there. All right. And I'm gonna drop this participant so you're full screen. Yeah, there we go. Yep. It's funny because it's like it took a picture of you and took a picture of me, and then it put us together, even without the snow and the frost. But it was like it put my arm around kind of her, it was, there was none.
Yes.
I was just like, and then it looked like it changed the lighting to look like we were both actually sitting. And I'm just
That's
like,
amazing.
yeah. So AI has been kind of fun, to say the least. And it's just I actually have Meta glasses, the sunglasses now.
Ah,
Now, when I have a guest on, I try not to wear the but it's actually an assistant because I will forget facts, and then I'll rely on some of the people in the chat room on Facebook because I can see their comments, and I have one guy that watches all the time, and I'll ask him to answer it, and he'll go look it up if he has to, and then give me the answer down the line. But now I
oh
can
my
just ask
gosh.
the AI, and so I just ask. It's like, hey, so that's kind of cool. And I probably with what would you say? With the help of AI, know a lot more about you than I would have if how I, doing the way I'd go about doing the normal podcast. I'll read up on our guests, and that's, but my retention is the part that's like,
Yeah,
you
fair
know,
enough.
it's like you're cramming and you maybe remember 15%. So, and then, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I dig it. I think one thing I've learned is starting a new brand, with a little bit of bootstrapping and just a small team, is I too have begun to rely on it just to get things done a little faster. And you know what? I guess we all deserve an assistant, whether or not we can afford one.
Right, right. But I would say also from your standpoint, you probably, because the legal aspects of contracts and certain things that have to happen, it pulls right from it. It pulls right
Yeah.
from the internet to pull something that would take you a while to get it in, print it out. Also, you just ask it and it will print it out, or it'll put it in and put your name where it needs to go, and then you print it out and sign it and it's done. It's just amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's scary and amazing all in the same go.
All right, so the way that the format works right now, we always do the pre-gaming on Facebook and YouTube. Some people, when they do a podcast, they'll do like the music thing because they got to go live, and then they'll have the music for everybody watching while they're sharing to the groups or getting it set up to be the most
Hmm.
watched, right? I like to just give everybody the pregame, and when they come in, they kind of see what we're doing. We talk a little bit. I'll watch the comments, see who's with us, that type of thing, and talk a little bit like we've been doing. But the main part of the podcast, when we get going, is the recording the audio. That's the section that's in it. Now, when I record the audio, a promo that we can't hear that's recorded just for the audio podcast goes, and that's about 45 seconds. Then I play our theme song, which you'll hear, and you'll be able to see the video a little bit on my screen right here. And then once the theme song's done, that's the start of the podcast. Now at the end,
Yeah.
we'll finish up, and I'll say the goodbyes and whatnot, and then we have another song that we play that I wrote, then ran it through ChatGPT, and then had Suno sing. Right. So that song is like another theme song that was done by AI, but I like the one that we do first is done by Kenny Fuller, and he wanted to write, and it's part of us.
Oh yeah, I heard it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Good stuff.
but once that happens, then once the theme song's done, this is the time where if you have time, you can bow out. But we do take I put the Zoom up onto the Facebook for anybody who wants to come in and allow them to ask questions. If you stick around, they can ask you a few questions, and then any time that you want to go, feel free. Just say, I gotta go, that type of thing. I don't want to take up too much of your time. And then we kind of hang out a little bit. But so we put about, I would say the recording of the podcast that's just going to happen in a couple minutes. It's about 45 minutes, and then we'll shoot for. That's what I usually shoot for. Sometimes it goes a little bit longer if we start having too much fun. So that's happened.
Generally, conversations go a little longer when I'm in them, so that's fine by me.
There you go. So we should be able. It's 8:20. It's perfect timing right now. We should be able to get ready and go. Are you ready to go? Any questions?
Got my dram with me and everything.
Any questions for me?
You want me to call you Jeff, Jeffrey?
Tiny. Call me Tiny. You can. Yeah, I go. That's what I go by. Especially, how many people in reality remember Jeff? Okay, so the next time you see me, I could be by you in, and you're gonna remember Tiny. Okay, that's you. And if you meet me in person, I'm a pretty big guy, so that is even more. It's more ironic. So it just works out.
Got it. Love it.
All right, so I will get this going. All right. No, I won't. It's just the microphone just falls right out on me.
Oh no. I'm imagining if I need to clear my throat, right?
Oh no, just the one thing I could say about this podcast is that it's all about just a bunch of people hanging out. That's our podcast format. I don't do edits unless I've done like 2 edits where something happened where they didn't want it in there, so I'll go back. I have the ability to do that, but we are live, so you can't edit. I can take the whole live down after it happens, but you can't really edit the live. But like I said, we're more of a hangout kind of thing. That's how it is. All right, let me make sure yes, it's working. All right, so I'm going to get this started. Here we go.
Uncut and unfiltered, we're diving straight into the heart of Kentucky bourbon culture. Let's get started.
Drinking 30, sipping on some scotch. We do it a while, but it's sure fun to watch. We love what we do with drinking every brew. And it's all some shit, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Raising your head up and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We're here to have fun. We hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun.
Woo! Yeah! All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tonight we've got Kieran Walsh in the house. Hey, Kieran. Nice. Oh, wow. That's crazy. I thought I had you up and then it was there. And
I moved quick.
oh my gosh. I click on you. Oh, wow. What's going on here? Where did it go? That was so I love having great what there you are there.
Yeah.
Oh, where did you that is crazy. Now where did it all oh yes.
There we go.
Finally.
Nice
Woo! See, that's how things go. Normally you would want to everybody who's listening to this, it's like he just disappeared. I have two screens, two monitors, and I thought I mastered something tonight where I just go up, you click on the picture and you come up. And it's like I did it like 10 times. Like, all right. And I practiced it and it didn't work. There you go.
That's what we call Murphy's Law.
Yep, that's how it works, right? No matter how many times you try and do it, something's going to go wrong. So anyways, today's guest is Kieran Walsh. He's the master blender and chief operating officer of Big Easy Spirits Company, the New Orleans-based brand behind Big Easy Whiskey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
We're doing it. I don't know what is the temperature down by where you live in the New Orleans area in Louisiana?
Yeah. So the funny thing about the temperature here is that it is cold, really cold by New Orleans standards, which is basically laughable for everybody else in the country. But it was in the 20s here this morning. So the fountain by my house was frozen. I think that's the part that my kids always are wanting to. That's the marker. Like it's cold because the fountain is frozen. So it's cold everywhere around this country.
Well, I mean, it is like we're like in the second half of the polar vortex. It's so cold up here. They're just calling school off. They like when I went as a kid. I lived in Wisconsin. I grew up in Wisconsin. -1 degree didn't call school off. But here in Ohio, in Canton, Ohio, -1 degree. So first there was the snow that got them. That Monday made sense. There was so much snow up here. Well, did you guys get ice, or did it mostly rain?
In New Orleans, we did not get any ice.
Okay.
The rain had streets had basically dried off enough by the time that the freeze came in.
Yeah. Yeah, because the power the worst was the ice storm that was happening between where you were and then probably up around a little bit south in southern Kentucky in that area. Whereas with us with the snow, it's just this powder snow that was not heavy, so it wasn't that bad. But now we're in that part where you're just getting those extreme colds, and like you said, you're getting 20. People go to New Orleans at this time of year for 75 degree temperatures, and that's
we're just starting the Mardi Gras parades actually this weekend, and I know I have some friends coming in town, and we're getting another cold snap down here this weekend. It's going to be again low 20s, which that's too cold for a Mardi Gras parade.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. It's just kind of, and I'm just sitting there looking at the whole week, and my granddaughter, it's like my wife takes care of my granddaughter if there is no school. And you're expecting a snow day here or there. You're just not expecting. I think it was -1 this morning. It's supposed to be -4 tomorrow morning, -1 the next morning, and I'm just like, she's here the whole week. So, anyways, all right.
Almost sounds like football weather.
Yeah, that's for sure. But hopefully, I think what this year's Super Bowl's in Los Angeles, so I hope it's
San Francisco, but California weather, right?
Yep. We hope for that. You're right. It is San Francisco, and there's no California teams in there. And then you throw in the Seattle team, and that's almost like an invasion to those guys.
Yeah, I know it is. It's a good game though.
Yep, it should be. All right. So, anyways, we're like I said, we're in the middle of this. So, talk about we're when I talked to Amy about she contacted me initially and told me about it. I'm not like as far as flavored whiskeys, right? There's some spirits I don't mind the infusion of flavor through the natural distilling process. Like you got gin baskets and that type of things, and you mix it, you could come up with. But I was very intrigued by this, is because you can explain it, but it's how you've taken these flavors and put them in there isn't to flavor it like cherry it's almost like, tasting it, it's like you're flavoring it to enhance the whiskey experience. Like you're not trying to get it so far away from whiskey that it's flavored, that type of thing. So, I mean, talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, and I appreciate that. It's a great introduction, a great assessment of it. This was such a strange process in bringing it together, and still, quite honestly, remains interesting just to figure out how to talk about it. My my biggest thing in tasting anything is always setting people's expectations appropriately enough. And I will always remember one of the first people who tasted the final blend of this before we start bottling it was my brother, who's a huge whiskey fan, huge bourbon fan, and he tasted it, and it wasn't a bad look, but it was a puzzled look, and that right then and there told me, I got to figure out how I'm talking about this, because I know it's good and I know people are gonna love it, but if they grab a bottle and they see Big Easy whiskey, they might be thinking straight bourbon. They might be thinking, it's a the base at the end of the day is a 5 year straight whiskey, and I make infusions into it, over 2 dozen different herbs and spices and a little bit of fruit in there, um, and all of them are very deliberate. All of them are very purposeful, and my feeling on flavored whiskeys, as you were saying, is a lot of them are there really to control the flavor. They're there to override the flavor. And I wasn't looking to mask the flavor. The base whiskey is delicious. And I was looking more just to accentuate it and kind of highlight all of those great undertones that we get in whiskey, anyways. Um, with maybe a little just something extra that just almost kind of works slightly contradictory to it, just to kind of make it a little herbal fun that you might get a little bit in whiskey, but this really just accentuates it.
So, give us a little background of where you were before. We connected on LinkedIn today, and that really helped me because I was looking. When you search around a little bit to find a little background, because I wasn't sure where you came from, and it wasn't easy to find on the internet. Put it that way. But on your LinkedIn, you're very specific. So I was like, oh, that's right. But talk about a little bit about where you were before, because you've been pretty much kind of all over the United States. You know what I'm saying? Where did you start? I mean, where did you initially get in?
Well,
Into
yeah,
the whiskey industry.
I got into the whiskey industry by way of the wine industry, and so I was in wine production, originally or initially, kind of coming out of college, and loved it. And at the time, I started my journey in that industry here in New Orleans, but eventually moved to California, and I had done a couple of different harvests and such internationally, and California being one of the big viticultural areas of the U.S. That's where I ended up, and had a great time in the wine industry. And eventually, it was just at that time you were talking like kind of mid aughts, 2004, 2005. There was a lot of wineries out there and a lot of breweries and a lot of makers who were just experimenting with the distillation of the beer they made or of the wine they made. And there are a lot of little just hobby groups and people who are just fascinated with what really then ended up becoming the craft spirits movement. And it didn't obviously just happen in California; it happened all across the country. But that really kind of kicked my interest and curiosity in being on the production side of whiskey in particular. I've always been a huge whiskey fan. I mean, honestly, my entry into that was the Irish whiskey at first, and Scotch and Irish whiskey were really my love before bourbon. And when we eventually, I crossed paths with David Perkins, who was the founder of High West, and High West, as I'm sure you know, was really originally really was founded around rye whiskey. In those early days, was all about blending incredibly high quality rye whiskeys, and rye appealed to me a little bit more than bourbon did. I think because of the grain character, and there was a similarity, almost a linkage with barley based whiskeys, and so I really found a true love for rye whiskey through that. Had a great time growing High West into what it became and what it is now. And eventually after High West, jumped around, helped out a few different distilleries, all in the whiskey space. Just doing anything from consulting or launching and growing, but eventually was always interested in creating my own thing. And the idea of Big Easy Whiskey actually was hatched in San Francisco, and this was at a time when Fernet was just becoming like the bartender's friend, and sort of that bartender's handshake. And I was getting really big into American whiskeys, and a buddy of mine threw out this idea of like what we were just understanding that amaros and aperitifs could be made from any base, and someone had thrown out this idea of a whiskey based amaro, and it just kind of trickled. It just kind of hung out back there. And in my time at High West, we did a lot of fun stuff. One of my favorite things was creating the barrel aged Manhattan, which at that time that we created and launched it, that was a complete new thing for the whiskey space and for whiskey drinking customers. And that really got my mind around sort of this idea of you can have whiskey based spirits that are not just straight whiskey. And what that became in sort of my journey of developing Big Easy Whiskey was the fact that right now, or at that time, we had flavored whiskey, and I'll just call out like the elephant in the room, like Fireball, right? And the step from Fireball to say, I don't know, just like Elijah Craig, like there's a big step right there. That's a big.
Well, yeah, you could go Fireball, which I don't even know if that's actually whiskey they call it, but then you go to, like, let's just say the flavored whiskeys of Jim Beam. They've got, I believe
Sure.
it's Stag, and then Red Stag, that's the one, black cherry.
Red
And
Stag.
then you got the honey one, what's it called? From Wild Turkey. Pure, yeah.
Wild turkey honey
Yeah,
check on it.
right,
Yeah.
right. So you're looking at those flavors, but once again, honestly, that's a step above Fireball in a way because it's still bourbon mixed with, and then those flavored whiskeys, the proof comes down a little bit. You know what I mean?
It does.
And
the sugar goes way up.
right. So yeah, you're looking at that, and it's more of a mixed drink. It's got a, and I've always had a hard time with sugar delivery. I like an old fashioned, but I usually like I don't like the really sweet ones, that type of thing. I like an old fashioned. It's got the bitters. It's got some simple syrup and a cherry, and some orange zest, and you're on your way, right? That's
Yeah.
still, but what? But this isn't that.
No. Well, I mean, really, what has I think my once I realized kind of where I was with this whiskey, it then turned to how do I get it out there and communicate what it is. And I was really scared of, I was interested in the flavored whiskey category because so many people were jumping into it and it was growing, right? But I was scared of it because I didn't know what that meant for the perception of my whiskey. And, as we were saying, sugar goes up. Sugar is a flavor carrier at the end of the day. And so, and quite honestly, flavorings, however you get to them, are expensive. And so most flavored whiskey producers want to shorten the amount of flavoring and extend it by adding a lot of sugar. And that's really at the end of the day why a lot of these things fall flat, because even if you do enjoy them, it's really hard to enjoy much of it.
Well,
Um,
well, I will say they fall flat for the actual whiskey drinker, like somebody who drinks whiskey neat, bourbon neat, or a connoisseur. They fall flat for them. But
Yeah.
there's no doubt that when you're talking about that market compared to if you throw in flavors like that, and that's where the bar aspect of getting those flavors, and then it's out into mixed drinks, and it's at the bar and people drinking. And if you get it there, that is a much bigger market than just the traditional purist whiskey drinker. I mean, it's a big market comparatively.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about what the benefits of any one of those products offers for your average interested drinker, it offers an entry into the whiskey segment, which, as we know, whiskey has been huge for easily the last, 2 decades. It's become a thing where people are curious about it. They want to be in it. They want to consume in it. They want to drink it. They want to dabble in it. And what flavored whiskey will offer, kind of the run of the mill flavored whiskeys, is a primary flavor that they can that somebody can wrap their head on,
recognizable in their head.
Yes, and it's gonna pair really well with something that they easily know. Oh, hey, I've got cherry flavored whiskey. Cherry, I think, goes well with cola.
Yep.
I'll do it.
You can say it, Pepsi, Coke. Cherry Coke. Yep.
Yeah. But I had somebody, I remember, like years ago, like so excited. It was just somebody who was at, at a bar that I was sitting at, and I heard them order it was a peach flavored whiskey, and I honestly don't remember which.
It's probably Jim Beam Peach. Yeah.
It might have been, and she ordered it with ginger ale, and she was so excited because peach and ginger goes together. And I'm thinking, I don't disagree with you. I mean, that sounds like way too much sugar for me, but like, go for it. I'm excited for you. And really, at that point, what that told me is people want to have a little bit of creative direction over what they're drinking, right? And they feel safe when they're like, oh, hey, I know exactly what this is going to taste like, and I know what this is going to taste like, and if I put them together, all the information I have tells me it's going to work.
And then she's, or if it's a she's like,
Mhm.
well, and I'm drinking whiskey because
Yeah,
there's the
exactly.
aspect of that. You know what I mean? It allows
Exactly.
somebody to be able to enter into that realm. It's just
Yes.
so the one thing I wanted to ask you is so you've got a 5 year and you're not you're a blender, so you've got a 5 year. Now is this, is it like a, did you blend the 5 year to make a batch, or is this a right straight?
No. Yeah, so really what the whiskey is, it's pretty cool, and it's fairly unique. It is distilled as a straight bourbon, but is filled into used cooperage.
Okay,
So obviously cannot be called a bourbon.
I'm well aware
Um,
that's where the whiskey comes in, and so and there's nothing in, that is a category that's going to be at one point. I've heard rumors and everything about, but at one point, we're gonna want. There's an aspect now. Was it a used cooperage of something else, or was it actually a used bourbon barrel?
it's both used bourbon and used rye.
Okay, so that's
The
cool.
the mash bill itself is 15% rye. Um, and what I, I didn't I didn't need all of the oak presence anyways. Um,
No,
because of my personal interest in that started in Irish whiskey and Scotch whiskey. I was already very well attuned to
used
having
barrels.
that tone down, that oak presence. Certainly the styles of wine that I made when I was in California all used, at the very most, used cooperage. I was not a brand new oak type of guy. And so I was already interested in what that whiskey could turn out on its own. Um, so it takes you then to, okay, well, we've got a 5 year whiskey. And I'll be quite honest, it's beautiful on its own.
I'm
Um,
I'm kind of aware of probably what it was, because
yeah.
it you that there's a certain amount of knowing that a certain amount of um, people who are blending from what there's that was on the that's on the market, and it was
Mhm.
done by a good, it's a great distillery, so
Mhm.
uh
Yeah, no, they
and
make a great whiskey. Um,
so
I, I,
think about it. It's like, so you got a 5 year whiskey, and now you're going into it being creative. So it's a combination of an approachable, spirit that is got some sort of sophistication based off it's not a 2 year bourbon. you're not you're
mhm.
not taking a young bourbon. It's by no means young. I mean, it's already right there. It could survive on its own. And so you've done this. So how do you balance out? I mean, how did you come to that many herbs, spices, fruits? What made you flavor it with that flavor profile?
Yeah, well, the the journey on that one was really actually began as as part of a project where I was, and this was something that didn't end up happening, but was a project where I was I tasked myself with trying to see if I could create a, a a spirit, an alcohol free spirit that then could potentially be dosed with some type of hemp derived product, THC or something. And I wanted to just see what are all of the layers of flavors, the compounds that go into it. That's where it began. And it was not actually originally related to Big Easy whiskey. And once I had locked in on what I wanted to create, I thought, well, everything that I put into this now, if I just took out the real obvious ones, like all the heavy, like oak extractions and such, and got into some of the notes that are undertones and began laying in, some baking spices. There's a lot of like kind of, there's nutmeg, there's mace, there's allspice that goes into this. And see where that put me with this whiskey. And then I started getting into green herbs. And I'll tell you quite honestly, the a little bit of my North Star on that originally was how freaking good the original High West Rendezvous Rye was. There was an element of like almost like celery leaf that was in that original whiskey that I could not, like, it was so present and you could not ignore it. It was like one of those things that, like, now every time I taste it, it's like, man, all I'm getting is like a nose full of celery. And it was not always readily apparent to a lot of people, but it was something that I loved so much. The MGP whiskeys, where part of that blend came from, were well known. The ryes were well known for that green characteristic in a positive way. That
Well,
herbal characteristic.
put it this way: it's positive. So that's one thing, and and that's one. This is it's great that you're on, because when we first started the podcast, for me, the MGP 95.5 and there's some Willet that pick up that celery note, and then also it for me, my palate, it doesn't work. There's actually there's some aspect for me that I pick up that it tastes almost like off. But the guy who I started, his name Young Nose Johnson was what he went by when he first was on. He loves Scotch and he loves ryes like that. And that's where we really, like, on this show, came up with the fact that we like to give you a guide, but by no means do we think that we can taste something for you, because everything out there that anybody puts out, all you got to do is say lobster, right? Like a majority of the people like die over lobster or whatever, but there are people on this planet that don't like lobster. They think it's
Sure.
gross.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing
Yeah.
with whiskey. Is you can't. But at the same time, when you're saying that, I get that. When you were saying you love those ryes, the High West ryes, initial ryes, those weren't. But once again, that's not neither here nor there. I love the passion that you have towards what your palate goes to. Now,
Well,
I don't taste
Sorry, go
any
ahead.
of that celery off of
Mhm.
this, though.
No. That was just the inspiration. So actually, just to make sure we're clear on that whiskey, the Rendezvous Rye, was the MGP portion of it, which was actually, they weren't even called MGP at that point. They were still called LDI, and so the distillate was an LDI distillate. Was not the 95% rye. It was actually 80%
Okay.
rye, 10% corn, and 10% malted barley. That thing was one of my favorite rye whiskeys ever produced in the U.S. I still have very small shreds of it. Someday I'm going to share it with you so you can see the difference with that and the 95.
Well,
Um,
but even on the 95.5, there's been barrels that I've tasted, like, at right out of the barrel, that tasted nothing like the 95.5 that you put out with what Bullet Bullet
yeah,
Rye and whatever.
yeah,
It's just like that for me was not my thing. But
sure.
but I really feel that, like, for yourself as a blender, how you went about doing this,
Mhm.
and what that flavors are. Even my wife Roxy she comes on the podcast from time to time and tours with us when we go on the road. She tasted it. Now, she was eating split pea soup and she tasted it
Nice.
and it didn't work for her. But then she came back down and she said, "That's working. That's pretty good." So I mean,
Nice.
don't pair it with split pea soup. Out
Yeah,
of
please don't do that. As soon as you said split pea soup, I thought, oh boy, where's this
Uh-oh,
going to
it's
go?
going in the wrong direction.
So I think what I was saying about the sort of those herbal notes were really that they were inspirations for this, because some of the things that go into this
Oh, the herbal,
are
yeah.
not necessarily what you would think is wanting to infuse into whiskey. And I'm talking like hyssop and lemon balm, things of that nature, aloe, that really. Again, that's not what you would think of within whiskey. And
I'll,
so it's a bit of a contrast where we have all of these infusions that really help support, there's some orange peel in there. That's like everyone gets that one with whiskey. But then I also like to kind of counterbalance that with some, it's some that really kind of just makes you think about it for a second and need to go back in on it.
well, I don't know if you're familiar with Alan Bishop at all. He was at the Spirit of French
Yeah,
Lick.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
now he's at Old Homestead, and he does this. He calls it his Black Forest Spirit. Okay, and honestly, this isn't aged 5 years. It's something that they did, and then he's infused it with 8 different, herbs, and lemongrass is one, like what you're talking about. So,
Mhm.
seriously, you should. If you called him, he would definitely talk to you, because honestly, this has an aspect of this, but
I bet.
this is way more. This isn't whiskey. You know what I mean? It's a Black Forest
Yeah.
Spirit. He put it out because he wanted to put something out because he's just 2 years into this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But what you did
I bet it's
here
delightful.
is very, very similar. So he calls himself an alchemist, and he
Yeah.
uses herbs and stuff. And what you're doing here is very similar. You're taking all these herbs, putting them together, mixing to make something that works as those flavors are there, but it's one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're really talking about paint on a palette that gets applied together to create a whole set of colors on the canvas that doesn't remotely look like it would when it's just sitting as individual colors on a palette. And that's my goal and it's always been is how can we get 1+1=3? Because it doesn't matter if 1+1=2. Everybody can add up to 2, but when I get something else from the connection of those flavors, it is where we're talking.
So it's really curious, because one of my questions was kind of based off this, like when you're blending, did you start with the whiskey base first and then infusion later, or opposite? And honestly, you were trying to do the infusion and the stuff first, but then you thought of the whiskey, you got the whiskey base, and then you started putting what you learned about the infusion from that way to match up so that they blend together, right? I mean, that's kind of it in a
Yes.
nutshell as far as
Yeah.
that
I
goes.
mean, to be completely honest, so yeah, I was kind of working from two different ends on two different things, and part just happily came together. The whiskey, as I said, is delicious on its own, and I've had several people ask me, "Why don't you just bottle it on its own?" And who knows? I might. I will tell you that, as you well know, I can label it as straight corn whiskey or whiskey from a bourbon mash. And on the shelf, neither one of those things are lighting the world on fire.
Well,
It could be great whiskey.
no. I think if you're going to go forward, you do different herbal blends, because
Yeah.
you're in an area that, okay. So one, it's called you have the Big Easy as a brand. I mean,
Yeah.
that in itself, just the copyright aspect of what you can do. So
Yeah.
so New Orleans is known for food, music, culture. I mean, so you were looking to translate what New Orleans has, as far as because New Orleans, there definitely Bourbon Street has bourbon, but a lot of the stuff is like the rum and like some of the drinks. So is there a Big Easy Bourbon Street drink that people are mixing with the Big Easy bourbon or whiskey?
Yeah, we're definitely getting it there. I mean, I appreciate you bring us back to the point of New Orleans, because it obviously plays a big part on the flavoring of it. I mean, the part of the inspiration once I started layering all these flavors, and it got to a point where I'm just putting more and putting more on it, was really this sort of slightly philosophical and esoteric idea of like, what is New Orleans? What's New Orleans flavor? And there is not one. There are dozens and dozens, and it's a bit of a cliche, but this idea of this gumbo where, like, gumbo is not one thing; it's a million different flavors, and so where that how that comes out in on the streets of New Orleans when it's served is, I think the versatility of this whiskey is a big highlight of it. And so I have some of the most revered cocktail bars that use this as one of several ingredients in a cocktail. But on a cold day like today, is a you can get a Big Easy whiskey hot toddy, which quite honestly is just Big Easy whiskey and hot water on Bourbon Street, which I love. I mean, it's pure simplicity. And the woman at the bartender at Jester's, who created Jester's right on Bourbon Street, was so proud of it that for her it's just a simple, like, it's two ingredients, it's two touches, it's Big Easy whiskey and hot water, and she's putting them hand over fist out on Bourbon Street on a cold day. I think really speaks to
So
how easy this whiskey can be to work with.
So I've been to New Orleans now 3 times. I mean, I love it. Being from this part of the world, it's not just an easy place to get to.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that before I was into and started this podcast, as I was a commercial artist that eventually had a fine art career for about 7 years. And one of the things I was totally into was absinthe. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you need to go to the old John, what is it? The pirate. You need to go to the old absinthe. Like Jean
We are at Old Absinthe House.
Yes. And it's
available at the Old Absinthe House.
But
John Lafitte was
John Lafitte, yeah, right. But you need to go there. And you need to come up with an absinthe drink with this.
Okay.
Because you've got, I mean, what is absinthe? I mean, we're talking about, it's herbs, black licorice and all those herbs, plus you got wormwood. But you mix that with this. I mean, it just hit. We're sitting here talking New Orleans, and I'm thinking like, oh, all of a sudden, I don't know why I didn't even think of this before the podcast. I mean, I should probably pull out my Lucid and dump some in right now.
Yeah.
No, but I think you got something there that could be New Orleans. I mean, that place is. I can't not go to Bourbon Street without going there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Jean Lafitte, the blacksmith shop. Is that what you were talking about?
No, the Old Absinthe House.
Oh, Old Absinthe House. Yeah. We are at blacksmith shop as well, which is also on Bourbon Street, a little further down. But I've loved it. I did not think when I was creating this whiskey, I didn't in my mind think that it would be really anywhere on Bourbon Street. I can tell you that High West, for all the bottles of whiskey I've sold of High West into anywhere in the state of Louisiana, I think the only place on Bourbon Street that it was in the Bourbon House, right? Dickie Brennan's Bourbon House, which is a great supporter of ours and has a fantastic cocktail on it.
I'm glad you underestimated your marketing prowess, but I don't give a crap what you put in this bottle. If you call it the Big Easy and get the trademark, it's going to be on Bourbon Street. It's the marketing aspect is They should all have it. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
what should be part of it. But yeah.
Yeah, that you're absolutely correct. I think what and that really came into a bit of it uh, for the places that weren't on Bourbon Street, who just looked at the name originally and just thought, this does not look like this is a product for me. And I do understand that there's been a bit of that there will be a bit of a judgment to some degree on what it can be, and I think people don't understand just exactly how quality it is. And I looked at this from the very get go as an opportunity to change the dialogue on the idea of Big Easy and really elevate it to just meaning something that is of utmost quality. I had a dear friend of mine that at the time was working at, right when I first developed this, was working at Sazerac, and she tasted it and says it's delightful. So what are you gonna call it? And I told her Big Easy Whiskey, and she looked at me and she said, "I think you need to get a different name." Uh, I said, "Well, I can't change. I can't change your, I can't change your how you're gonna think about the whiskey, and I don't want to because it's good. You might have to change how you think about the name."
But at the same time, so I'll give you a. We all know when it comes to anybody who is a connoisseur or that drinks whiskey, like one of the buzzwords is smooth, because
Yeah.
because anybody who drinks whiskey, they don't like. We're not looking for smooth. Your palate's been refined. You want a little bit of a bite. You want some bold flavor when it's going. You're not looking for it to be Johnny Walker Blue and just pour down your throat and be everything that whiskey's not. I mean, it's a Scotch that is designed. I mean, it's in its perfection of not being whiskey, even though it is. It's a fantastic bottle, but at the same time, when people tell you smooth, I mean, I try and tell everybody I want something that's smooth. I'm like, don't say that. You
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
here's my other ones. Silky. Okay. People accept silky
Sure.
because it's like it's kind of funny. There's some movie references to it and everything. And then
Mhm.
the other one is easy. I love to call, I'm like, this is easy. That just means
Yeah.
I don't have to think about too much and whatever. But you've got a whiskey called the Big Easy. So not only did you
It's
don't got it smooth, but it's big, and you could have put big and easy, but you wouldn't want to do
yeah.
that. But at the same time, I mean, I would have gone with what you went with, but it's still, it's not something that it's I wouldn't call it smooth because there's so much flavor that you're thinking you know
Mhm.
whatever. And then what do you come in? What's the proof on this?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so it's 86 proof, which as you referenced to earlier, a lot of whiskeys that um, are flavored whiskeys come in much lower than that, usually 30 or 35% alcohol. So I wanted this to be a real whiskey before anything else. And it technically is not a flavored whiskey. The government wouldn't even let me call it that if I wanted to, because flavored whiskey actually can only have one singular flavor. So if you say, peach flavored whiskey or cinnamon flavored whiskey, that's the category definition, the type for flavored whiskey. This is something in and of itself, and that's really the challenge. I think really what I'm getting to with most people is kind of creating almost a new type and a new category, which is just big easy whiskey. Not flavored whiskey, it's not straight whiskey, it's big easy whiskey.
Yeah, it's infused with natural flavors.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's perfect. Now, um, let's talk about where I mean, so where did you learn the business aspect of it? So right now you're the master blender, you're the COO, but your distribution is I believe what I've read is 46 states.
Yeah, so that's actually just that we're commercially available. It doesn't mean we're in distribution in those many states. There's a there are retailers that will ship out to those states
Okay.
to cover you if you can. You know, my dear parents live in the city of Chicago, and we are not available in any retail there. I really want to be, and I hope that my dear friend Brett Pontani over at Binny's is hearing me, because I would love to be on those shelves. But until that point, my dad still needs his bottles of Big Easy whiskey because he loves it. So, you know, he's able to put in an order on our website, bigeasywhiskey.com, and we have retail partners that will fulfill those orders. So, but no, as of right now, we're only in distribution in the state of Louisiana, which was by design. We really wanted to make sure that we built that here, and that the people of New Orleans not just appreciated it but loved it, because you know the people of New Orleans are an interesting breed, and we know we have something unique, and we love to share it with our friends and tell our friends about it. And so this was not going to work if I made it here and then barely even sold it here and put all my effort into building it in Texas and Florida and, you know, in California, let's say. And then we've got to get all the, you know, those people. If you ask your friend from New Orleans, hey, you ever heard of Big Easy whiskey? And they say no. And it doesn't look good for Big Easy whiskey, in my opinion. So we're going the slow route, trying to grow this thing responsibly. We are looking at rolling out, expanding into the Texas market this year, as well as the Florida Panhandle, and then our neighbors in Mississippi. Probably we've got some interest in Tennessee as well. So we'll probably be looking in Tennessee, and that will pretty much be about it for 2026. We just started to trickle into California just this month. So we're slowly, you know, getting it out there.
So, what's your vision for like 3 to 5 years? Are you looking at to take it all the way, or are you looking
Mhm.
for somebody to come in and take over? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
is there going to be? Are you thinking of new expressions also to go into this? I mean, you talked a little bit
Mhm.
about putting out the bourbon, you know,
Mhm.
and just kind of knowing a little bit about it with the whatever. I think you did the right thing with this. I mean, I think the
Okay.
bourbon that's there. I just think that no matter what you would have to do, you have to do something to that bourbon or that whiskey, you know, because it was a
Mhm.
bourbon mash bill, like you said, into a used barrel. And it's you go into that just straight. There's so much, like your instinct of what you told me, what you did was completely right. And so
Thank you. I
going
appreciate that. Yeah.
if you were to go forward with a bourbon, that a Big Easy bourbon or a Big Easy, I would look at different purchases for that, because you don't have to have
Mhm.
it be the same. You know what I mean? You have the whole world to cherry pick from, right? As far as what you
Mhm.
can get, because right now there's going to be a lot of whiskey on the market.
Yeah, yeah, there sure is. Well, we have, yeah. I mean, I'm in constant development on things. This exact base whiskey, I have as a 9-year-old with no infusions into it, and I am looking at
That could be
basically a
decent.
slightly different infusion into the older whiskey. It is a delicious whiskey again on its own, but would love to kind of put our stamp on it. And then, actually, separate to that, I do have two extraordinary bourbons that we may launch later this year. They've been sitting in tank waiting to get bottled, and I've had them. Um, I've shared it with some friends in the industry, and I've had some really positive feedback. The best review. Am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. The best review was from probably one of the most finicky palates that I've encountered over at Barrel Proof, which is here in New Orleans, which his review was just holy shit. That was I took that as a really good thing, especially combined with the fact that his eyes were like really big in excitement, and it's hard to get into like really anything that's only even halfway decent. So,
So,
yeah,
so my catchphrase, and I would say that I could put this when I tasted it, because um, I obtained this bottle through Amy early on, because initially we were talking. It was before. It was during the holidays. We were thinking of trying to do, and it just as far as
Mhm.
getting the whole thing set up. I'm so glad that you came on. But
Yeah, thank you.
but I had it, and I was sitting at it, and I was like, I just got to wait till we're close to. We got something set up before I open it and taste it. But I would have to say my catchphrase would be, "What the shit?" Not,
Yeah,
and that would be yes, because when I tasted it, it does not taste. It's like you said, it's infused with natural flavors. It doesn't taste like a flavored whiskey. And what you've done is created something that. So I had it neat a little bit earlier, and putting it on the rocks has been delightful. I put it on, the little wedge cube and whatever. This way it would.
yeah,
And as it goes, definitely enjoyable pour over the rocks. There's no that I mean neat. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I think the strength is gonna be it's perfect for mixing. Coming up with very unique the unique flavors that are there. You know.
yeah. It was. I mean, it was very much formulated to be something. My vision of it was something that was on the rocks. I personally, I mean, I'm drinking it. I'm enjoying it here with you, and it's just neat. But I think most people enjoy to have the whiskey, on ice, and so that was very present with me when I was putting this all together. Now, there are naturally within whiskey what are called hydrophobic compounds, and so those are those elements that kind of, when you add water, they really perfume out.
Hmm.
And I That's both naturally in the whiskey, the base whiskey itself, but I also made certain to um, the herbs and spices that we were infusing into it absolutely add another level of hydrophobic compounds, and so those really begin to perfume out, particularly in the sort of the herbal bitters type of category. If I was going to kind of slot in or categorize all the types of flavors that we have in here, but I think it's really pretty when you put it over ice or you add just a little bit of water. I mean, I I in my free time coach my son's baseball team, and we were doing a practice this weekend, and it was cold, and we were all outside, and I had a little thermos, and it was again Big Easy whiskey with a bunch of hot water on it, and as soon as I opened the top, one of the coaches that was maybe standing 6 feet away from me goes, "Oh my, wow! I just a whiff of that." And the idea is that you do have these compounds that, just like oil and water, come together, and they separate quickly. It's the same idea. You get these compounds that just leap out of the vessel as soon as
So you're
water's added.
trying, like you're talking a hot toddy. You add that warm water, that hot water, that warm water. It makes it infuse. You don't have to add the lemon or the whatever. You just put the hot water in there, and everything's happening. You could add the lemon,
You could, if you
but
like more of it. I have
yes.
lemon peel in the whiskey itself. So
You were talking about initially about the hemp or that type of
mhm.
thing. Is there stuff like that in there?
No, 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 there's not.
Well, there you go.
That was,
That's your next
yeah,
level. You just do
yeah, could be.
you just do the banger infused.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it could really. I mean, it could be that, and that'll be a conversation with with my partners on if we go that direction. I think a
Uh,
lot of that will be
If you
covered,
go that
but
direction, hit Macaulay Mitten up, because he probably would
okay.
offer you some good advice on.
Okay.
So, anyways,
Yeah, it's I mean, at this point, I think that the greatest thing about getting creative is that it opens so many other creative doors downstream for you. And there's always just anytime you got doors open up, you got opportunities. And
well,
so um
I mean, last
yeah.
last but least of the what what inspired you to actually, you know, do this, as far as infusing these what was the inspiration where you were like, was it somebody who did this before with all the different, was there somebody, or was there a specific moment where you're just like, we need to put this with whiskey?
Well, so I mean the actual moment came in 2011 when a buddy of mine came up to me and said, I just landed the trademark for Big Easy in the whiskey category. And my first reaction, the first thing I said is, so like I was being a little pressed, and we were just like starting to really soar at High West. And the story, I'll give you the very very short version of it, but my wife and I had just had our first child, and had not had our first date yet after having the baby, and needed it badly. And we went out for dinner, and this very moment that we sat down, this friend of mine who happened to be there pulled up his chair to our table, and he's a talker, and he just started to tell me everything under the sun, including that he had landed this trademark. And all I remembered is, I don't care about this idea. I don't care about your trademark. But I didn't say that. And my wife is sitting there looking at me like, when are you going to tell this guy to go? So that really actually ended up being the catalyst for what ended up coming many years downstream. What happened in all of that was a lot of ideas of what really, not what whiskey could be, but what Amaro could be. That was kind of early on. Is you can make wine based Amaros, you can make spirit based Amaros. The spirit traditionally tended to be either just a grain alcohol that was from whatever farmers had left over, or it might be like a grape distillate or a grape pumice distillate, like a grappa. And you're putting all these herbs into it. Kind of doesn't matter how good the base spirit is, and that's kind of what Amaro still is to this day. I wanted to put an American kind of look on it, and what if we did an Amaro or something Amaro like that had a whiskey base to it? And that's really then, there was all sorts of directions. I could make it more Amaro leaning, I could make it more whiskey leaning. And that's, trying to find the balance there, because at the end of the day, you got a big old, big country and a big world that's interested in the American whiskey taste. So I needed it to be clearly American whiskey, while also giving a lot of nods to Amaro, and just that flavor style, that flavor profile.
So, did your friend who got the Big Easy whiskey trademark, is he still your friend and everything?
Oh yeah.
And he was able to,
Ye-
you guys were able to pull this one off, huh?
ye- Yes, I'm gonna. I will. I will toast to Eric Rubin. He's out there. I hope he's proud of what we've created. He's we our team is sort of built on a group of friends that have all kind of been in the industry together, and we're just looking for that next thing. So, you know, and Eric's definitely one of those. He's a great ideator, and comes up with a lot of things that no one else would ever really think of.
Well, put it this way, by being able to get that, I mean, you at the moment you didn't realize it, but it to try and do what you're doing without the label, it adds way, way more difficult, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
way
100%.
more difficult thing that happens, right? I mean, it
There
doesn't.
is absolute. There's a what I might call a crazy license that you get when you put New Orleans over it. Is you get the parameters get to be way bigger in terms of, you know, we're leaning into New Orleans, and as I said before, like, what is New Orleans flavor? I know I've countless chef friends here, and there's been, you know, chefs for many, many years who have tried to encapsulate what is New Orleans flavor, and it's not any one thing. It is a mixture of all the things, and with some type of balance and just all kind of underwritten under the idea of fun. That's how New Orleans still continues to inspire people and draw people to it.
All right, so thanks so much for joining us. It's
Yeah,
it's
been
your
fun.
process is fascinating. Um,
Mhm.
you know,
Thank you.
it's just like make sure I'll throw a shout out. You have an online shop, right? So tell everybody, give a little plug for where they can go to get this, because there's only 4 states you can't get it. I'll ask you this question: is Ohio one of the 4 states?
No, Ohio thankfully is not one of the 4 states.
Okay, so
I can't remember all 4. I know Utah is definitely one of them. So my friends at High West will not be able. I can't send it to you. I
the
think.
only way you could do it is deliver it to them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, which I still do owe my friend David Perkins a bottle over there. I brought him a little bit of the base whiskey before I infused it, and he also gave me the holy shit, this is good. So, but yeah, I can't remember. I think New Hampshire is unfortunately out of luck. I believe Massachusetts is out of luck, and there's one other, but I can't remember.
Okay.
The 4th one, but we can otherwise get it everywhere. We've got some great other merchandise that's also on our site, and one of the things, because it's Mardi Gras season right now, that I have to call out is, and it'll only be available through Mardi Gras, which this year is February 17th, is our Big Easy Whiskey King Cake. And for anybody who knows what a king cake is, you know what it is, and you probably already know that our whiskey flavor, and they're just going to be delicious. And if you don't, you can just take my word for it, because it is an absolutely sublime king cake.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What is the website?
BigEasyWhiskey.com. Super easy.
Perfect. All right. So there you go, everybody. Thank you for your time. If do you want to hang on for a couple minutes and take questions once we finish up? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Q&A.
Okay. Remember, everybody, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all our merchandise. We got t-shirts, we got Glencairns and bourbon balls. So check us out there. And then also remember, we're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and TikTok, along with Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. No matter whether you listen to us or you watch us, make sure that you listen, like, subscribe, leave good feedback, especially on Apple. Give us a 5-star review, please. And then also you can become a member and also join our Patreon. So check us out there. But remember, good bourbon equals good times and good friends. Drink responsibly, don't drink and drive, and live your life uncut and unfiltered. Good night, everybody. Here we go.
you can't no more. Life rolls on, but the choice is yours. How you play it out when you walk through that door. One bottle, one drink, one pour. That's what the Scotchy Bourbon Boys got in store. Tuesdays, Thursdays, come pull up a seat. We'll taste through the whiskey on the rocks and eat. Bourbon Scotch or a good old ride. Japanese Irish, yeah, we'll tell you why. So wherever you're sipping, near or far, tune in with us from your home or your car. One bottle, one drink, one pour. That's the podcast you've been looking for.
All right. All right, everybody on Facebook. I am going to send out the invitation. If anybody has a question for Kieran, now will be your time. I gotta make sure. Okay, where did that go?
Great song. Good for you for getting that one put together.
Yeah, it was just like I did a bunch of songs. Why is where? Okay, let's just go to Zoom. There should be the Zoom. All right, let's see what happens. Call it up here. Should I put it through? Wrap up. Okay. Why is it not popping up? I have the Zoom thing to copy. Oh, there it is. I want to copy the invitations for the meeting because for whatever reason, when I copy it, by the time the podcast's over and I go to share it on Facebook, which I'm going to do right now. So I need the keyboard. It's gone. So I have to recopy it. All right. All right, now it's on there. So it takes a couple seconds because it's a little bit delayed on Facebook. All right, it's up. All right. Yeah, but that was first I did a bunch of songs and I wrote them, and my wife, who understands music and has written music and sings music or whatever, she's just like, there's always something missing. So I was right. It sounded cool or whatever to me. But she's like, that's not how there's a lot of stuff where the words aren't working. And so I just was like, well, I'll just write the song and then I'll write all the words and then I'll say, hey, Chat GPT, put this so that it works into a pop song with whatever. So it does it. I changed a couple words that it had changed so that it would be more, still me. And then I put it in. It was just like,
Wow.
Well, that worked.
Amazing. God, that's really wild. Good for you.
So all right. So we should have a couple people joining us. Hopefully. I know that Walker, and there we go. Let's see. Ricky. Cannot use barrel and claim your mixture is pure when you're mixing. Okay, so Ricky Edwards is whatever, but Ricky, it's not that he's using his own. He's not using his own used barrels. He's purchasing the whiskey. You purchase the whiskey in it's what's available for. And in most cases, sometimes when you purchase like that, you can't put out where it was done. Right? There's a disclaimer aspect to it, or can you say where the barrels came from and where the whiskey came from?
I mean, I can. Yeah, the whiskey was distilled at NGP in Indiana. I share that. I mean, we're experimenting with distilling the same exact mash bill and laying it down and seeing where we get with it. But at this point, it's all in GP.
So you are contract distilling?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
Walker.
I mean, we do our own distillation, not of whiskey, of sugarcane for completely different projects. But yeah, that's after handling grain in the very humid deep south is not ideal, at least for me. I'll leave that for all the others who want to try to do that.
No, honestly, as a blender, 100%. I mean, all you have to do is look at Scotch. And where Scotch has evolved in its I mean, if Scotch has been around, I mean, you can take it back to 1400 years, but 600 years it goes back where it's like this form where they're making it and doing. I mean, when you're talking about Johnny Walker or Doers, I mean, Johnny Walker was a grocery store. It was a grocery store where he was like buying barrels and just from all the different, distillers and then blending his own blend. And that's what it is today. I mean, they pull from all the great different, distilleries in Scotland and then put together blends that are, for an average Scotch drinker, pretty damn good. That's that above at, you're not entry level anymore, but you don't, you might not like a ton of smoke. They're just there for you, right?
That's
It's
I
the
mean,
same.
in almost any other category, blending is celebrated. You go to France and they'll show you, a cepage that has 50 different distillates blended into one. And again, as you said, in Scotch, that's celebrated, and really it's celebrated here, but in very small circles, because we've come to sometimes misunderstand what straight means and the value of straight versus
Well, that
that
is the
is different.
bourbon industry's fault, because Scotch used to be the dominant one, and what they had to do to eliminate it, that where it made it into smaller circles, they did things. They like changed the, I mean, you were talking sugars. I mean, honestly, where does sugar come from? Bourbon, although it's not per se added sugar, but it's 100% added sugar, because a brand new charred oak barrel has caramelized sugars, wood sugars in it, and that's where it picks up its sweetness. You know what I mean? You'll pick up a little corn flavor from the distillate, but from the distillate, you leave a little flavor in there, but you don't leave that much.
There's definitely no sugar coming across into the distillate, like actual sugars.
Right.
For sure.
It's all alcohol.
It's only our way. That's I think what you're getting at, Tony, is that the bourbon industry decided that this was our way, and they said, "Look, this is the standard. We're going to make this the standard, and anything else is not genuine."
Yeah, but
to do that was a challenge in of itself, and then they did that, and they marginalized a lot of the things, and now it's coming full circle, and we're getting sort of an expansion into American whiskey, an expansion into finished whiskey, an expansion into many of these things that just, let's say 10, 15 years ago were unheard of, or at least were not thought well of.
Well, they reset it at this straightforward level where bourbon was, it had to be this, and then once they got you on that, then when they started to like expand out on finished whiskey, the purists lost their minds, right? And then, but then now, 6-7 years later, everybody wants what's the next thing, and that's what they understood. But I will tell you, this, you guys, okay, so you're all on right now. So we got questions on the Big Easy for Kieran, because he's here to answer your questions. Definitely nice. It's good. Matt, you would love this.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm gonna have to swing down and try some.
Oh yeah, it's here.
You said we can order it online
Yes, yes.
through BigEasy.com.
BigEasyWhiskey.com. Yes.
BigEasyWhiskey.com. Thanks. I'm Randy. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Randy. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
And I was watching while I was driving home. I had a Buffalo Trace dinner tonight. Where we tried 6 different Buffalo Traces, everything from regular Sazerac up to Pappy 15.
Beautiful. Good for you. Quite.
And this is single barrel. E.H. Taylor single barrel.
Very good.
So what does the cake one taste like? I wanted to make sure I asked you before everyone else gets in here.
Wait, what? Was that for me or for the cake one? Oh, the king cake.
King cake.
Oh, that's actually a king cake. It's not a spirit. It is a actual king cake.
Oh wow, those are wonderful.
Yeah, so I didn't mean to get into the king cake business, but last year when we were releasing the whiskey, I was put together with a baker, a friend of a friend who developed an incredible cake, and then asked me to develop the icing for it. And so we made a whiskey caramel that has all of the extracts, all the infusions that I put into the whiskey into this whiskey caramel. And so we just make it from the beginning of January through until Mardi Gras. So it's available now.
One of my friends from college is from New Orleans, and he actually went to culinary school in France.
Oh.
And then came back after and retired down there. But the guy you did it with wasn't named Tracy, was he?
No. It's a very awesome lady named Rachel Bouillon. She works at Pigeon Bakery, and so they're our development partners in this. But unfortunately, the king cake to get requires some express shipping, which unfortunately makes the entire thing pretty darn pricey. But in the world of king cakes online, it's actually not the highest price, and both happy and sad to say.
Well, it's probably really good if you're gonna order it now, because it's cold between New Orleans and where you are, and that's probably the best way to ship it.
That's right.
So before we get off this point, I want to.
Cold everywhere.
Yeah. Before we get off this point, I want to explore this because I didn't want to make a mistake when Matt had asked what it was like, and I was trying to think that it has a cinnamon base and then it has some other flavors in addition to that. Does that sound right, Kieran? I'm trying to remember because it's been a while for me.
The whiskey or the king cake?
The king cake.
The king cake, yeah, we do a very traditional version, so it's brioche that has a cinnamon swirl into it, and that's it. And then we put my whiskey caramel over the top of it. There are a lot of king cakes that have all sorts of shit stuffed into it and all sorts.
Are you gonna
kept the cake very basic and pure?
Are you gonna sell me some whiskey caramel? Your Big Easy whiskey caramel? Sorry, when you said that, I need some of that.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Your blood sugar really needs it, Tiny.
Yep, it does. Whiskey, Big Easy whiskey caramel. Man, that sounds delicious.
I got a whole other product that I haven't even considered.
I think I could make that into an old fashioned. That would be killer. Like that would be great.
You are 100% correct. Actually, I did taste. When we first developed the caramel, I remember thinking like it had some on my finger, and I was like, I could just stir my finger into some just straight whiskey, and I'd probably be doing pretty damn well right now.
Hey Matt, if you come down,
you probably blend that down with Vicar 43, and you can make that into your sugar base to have your whiskey poured in. That would be perfect.
Yeah, now you're talking.
hey Matt, if you come down, we'll just finish this bottle, and you'll just stay overnight.
I'm down. You got a couch right in front of you, so I'm.
Oh yeah, I do. And I got a new bourbon blanket too. So there you go. It won't be as cold as your back room.
I'm working on putting heat over there. It's coming along.
Okay.
Tiny, what does the 20th/21st of February look like for you? For me coming up?
Bad. I'll be in Florida.
Okay.
'Cause
Well, just leave me a key.
why would you want?
Are you guys gonna be?
Matt will come help me. Just leave me a key. Matt and I, and Ricky will come over. We'll make it work.
It's about 50 minutes down the road. I'm good. We can do it. Fly into Cleveland. I'll take
Hey, just so you know, Randy, I'll leave you a key. You leave me a key.
My wife will still be in Florida.
It doesn't matter. Leave me a key.
He's just trying to get in there. Your stack.
I'll just tell her Randy approved everything.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, except for about 4 bottles that he's got, he would probably swap with me. He's got about 4 bottles he wouldn't swap with anybody.
Who, me?
I don't blame him. You, yeah.
I got 2, but other than that, I'm sure.
The rye, I know the rye you got from
Booker's Rye, yeah. And then
Yeah, what's the other one?
and then the Fred No Bookers that's signed, that's not open.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he gave it to me, so
Sorry.
not gonna drink that.
And you might or might not. Go on, Matt.
I was trying to go in the middle when you guys stopped. I'm sorry. Are you guys gonna be at the New Orleans Bourbon Festival?
Yes. Yeah.
Are
So
we
it's gonna be
going?
to see them down there and get some come.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Are we
I
going?
was trying to work that out with Shona, so I'm working on it. I just need
Well, I need to know, Tony, have you worked it out for us for tickets and stuff?
I have not because right now at the moment, at this moment, with the Florida trip, I don't know what the March is going to look like. Plus, Roxy can't go, and then CT can't go either. And that's always I told CT the next time I go, that would be because he wasn't able to go the first time. But now that Kieran's going to be there pouring this. I mean, are you going to have a booth at the actual the evening events?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have you been there? You've been there before, or is this?
Yeah, we did it last year. Was the first year I did it as.
Did you have this? Were you able to go get some smoked oysters?
I mean,
those oysters.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think I got them that night.
Oh my
So
God!
what night are you talking? Is that a Thursday night or Friday night or Saturday night?
It's a Friday and Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken.
I can be there Saturday. I can get there late Friday night, but the problem we have is the last 2 days or 3 days of March and the first 2 days of April. We're going through our final accreditation for the college, so they're not letting anybody have any time off.
Isn't this March 20th?
Yes.
On the date here?
No, you're.
Sounds right. I don't
March
have it
20
in front of me,
something. And it's always like the third weekend.
My birthday is the 20th, it's a Monday, so that would be in 22nd. That'd be the
Yes.
20th and 21st, right?
Right. They do something on Sunday, but everybody usually, you're kind of like after Saturday night, we've kind of bowed out we flew home on Sunday. I think that's what it was.
That's probably what I would do. That's spring break week, but I think we're not getting spring break off from what she told us.
Well,
the students are, but the faculty's got to stay in.
So do you
hands on deck for this?
So Kieran, do you have like a VIP kind of thing where you've got like a little section where you just hang out with all your friends?
Sure. I actually don't. Yeah, I don't. I have other people that set that thing up for me, and then I show up and just do all the tap dancing and hugging and baby kissing. I can't remember how they did it last year. I know we poured for a couple nights. And then there were all these breakout seminars and whatnot. I know I was doing some podcasts, I think, at that time. So there is definitely a VIP hour.
Yes, that is on. I want to say Thursday night is the VIP. Well, it's Thursday night is like the intro. Everybody's coming in. I think we were there. Thursday is when they start judging everything, and then Thursday night's the reception, and then Friday's the first day of the festival where you have I believe you have all the different seminars and everything you can go to. And then Friday night's the first night at where all the booths are and where they do everything. And then Saturday, same thing, sessions, and then Saturday night's the awards and at the place. So I will say that, Matt, if we're gonna go, because I'll just drive up to Cleveland and we'll fly out of Cleveland. We want to get there. We want to leave Thursday morning and get there for the Thursday night thing.
So, is there gonna be like birthday tickets for me, or do I have to like sign up for something, or what do we gotta do there?
Okay, one, I can get a couple tickets through. I can get through Tracy. I can tell him I want to come. We'll have two people, me and you. We'll come down and we'll promote the festival. And then, but the hotel is the part where the festival is the hotel, which is fantastic because everything's going on in the hotel, not where it's a couple blocks down where they do the whole, where everybody has their booths and everything, but where all of the seminars and everything that you can cover and go out and do interviews and everything, that's right at the hotel. It's fantastic, actually. It's a pretty good festival.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But we have to make up our minds soon because I'd have to call Tracy because I know Roxy can't go. CT doesn't. I don't want to go. I didn't want to go by myself. That's for sure.
Well, I gotta get off here. Bye.
See you, Randy.
I don't think you want to
So
go,
Ricky, do you have any questions for Kieran?
Well, I was just actually I jumped in on the late. No, I wish we could. I wish I had some of your stuff to sample up here.
Sure. Yeah.
I would have a little more. I'd have more questions for it. My question.
You might have a lot of questions at that point.
So Ricky, tell him where you work.
Well,
give him a background of you. What?
And my question, when you said you were using refurb barrels. I can't hear him.
Oh, you got muted, Kieran.
He's listening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Refills. Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. But you used, you guys use refurbished barrels, and you go through and I understand wood. I don't understand women. I don't understand people's opinions, but I'm a wood guy, and I'm just curious. Because I also worked with the guys from was it Devil's Back, the rum guys down there, Devil's Backbone or Devil Heels Rum in South Carolina or North Carolina. I was just wondering, where you're using these refurbished barrels and they're coming from other companies. Do they have, because everybody's mix is a little bit different, does that affect your product? Or are you getting them all from a sold, are you getting all these barrels from a sold place or proprietor to make your product? Because if it comes from, say, comes from Jim Beam or comes from Woodford or comes from Four Roses or all their mixtures a little different. Their yeasts are different, and everything's a little different, and that wood works different. Not only that, but the thickness of the wood is different. How does that affect? And can you That's a question I got.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is a bit of consistency to it in that the vast majority of the barrels themselves are just freshly dumped from MGP itself, right? So they're cutting through a lot of bourbon and a lot of rye barrels. Some of the barrels, and it's nothing that I've harvested yet, but a lot of the barrels are also coming from KAD in Louisville. So um, there's a little bit of a remains to be seen on those. But everything that I've been harvesting, over the past 2 years has been very consistent. And there's going to be you're right. There will be a bit of a difference from barrel to barrel. There always is. I mean, that's the magic of whiskey
absolutely.
in general,
Is
right?
is it on the top shelf or is it in the middle? Or
Yeah.
okay.
Well, and then add to it the aging that happens in barrel here in New Orleans, because it's distilled in Indiana and makes its way at various points. I mean, I first brought it down and it was 2 years. It's 2 years old. So that first batch aged in New Orleans, and things age quickly here. They age deeply here.
Oh, yeah.
With the climate.
I
but
don't-
Then sorry, what?
I don't say aged. I say things evaporate.
Yeah, well,
There you
yeah.
go.
I live here and I don't evaporate. I age.
Although-
yeah, I think
You probably do. You're probably more dehydrated than most people.
yeah, that's probably true. That's why I have a big glass of water here right next to my whiskey. But yeah, it's a good question. I think honestly, I think the spirit, if you think about it, the spirit that's in it is only slightly influenced by everything that is either soaked into the wood or literally sitting on the surface of the interior of the barrel.
Yeah, right. I agree.
So I think there may be some individual influence on each barrel. I think once you get into then the blend of all those barrels, and then on top of it, the infusions that I put into the whiskey, or that are made into the whiskey, I think that's almost like the sandpaper that smooths it all over.
Cool.
Yeah. So when you first started, you purchased the barrels and you purchased the whiskey. And then now you're distilling the whiskey and then putting it and purchasing barrels that have been used, and you're using those right away, right?
Yeah, well, so whiskey that I'm dumping at KAD for other bottlings, which is where I work out at KAD for a lot of my projects. That's what I'm refilling, distill it into, but that's all pretty new at this point. Everything is MGP.
Yeah. You got to get down the line for the other stuff.
Yeah,
and
that'll remain to be seen.
And that stuff that would make sense where you could release some of those as your own.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
just without the infusion.
Right. Yeah, I think that I'm focusing more on the distillates that are coming out of there are those are actual bourbon.
No, it'd be really cool.
It's
if you basically infuse it and then re-put it in a barrel.
Do it finishing barrel. And we have customers that have, all whiskey or bourbon, whiskey and bourbon is about the story. 3 drinks in, hell, it's all the same. It doesn't shot.
Although this is a little different, Ricky. This has a flavor to it that is a little bit different than just when you're right with bourbon. But this
Yeah.
has some of those earthy flavors, and then enough that
I
you.
don't know. I'm drinking something I got from Southern Distillery when I had a barrel opening the other day, it's rye, but I'm saying right now it's working.
That's great.
So do you have anything that's finished at Ampurana?
No.
I'm only asking because I actually do like Ampurana. Just saying.
No. I'm with you. I do have some experiments. Nothing that'll be for Big Easy whiskey. But yeah, I really enjoy the wood. I enjoy it more when I've had cachaça out of it. But when I've had some whiskeys that I thought were pretty cool. I mean, I think you need. What I don't like is when you're just all in. Like I like it when it's just got some little traces of it. You know, puts a little kiss on the spirit.
So
you know,
if me and Matt, he does a podcast or a YouTube channel, Cleveland on the Rocks. But if we come down to New Orleans for the festival, are you going to let us taste? Can we hang out and taste a couple of those experiments?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my two bourbons for sure. And yeah, the rye that's in Amburana, I actually haven't even tasted it myself yet. So
I'm excited for that.
So it'll be ready by that point, maybe.
I'll bring a whiskey thief.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll shoot some reels. It'll be fun.
So I have a different question for you, Kieran. And this is actually more local based down there. Have you met a guy down there named Mike Persick?
Mike Persick? I don't think I have.
So he works with a social group down there on Facebook called BXL Social, and he's a pretty big whiskey advocate in that area. I'll see if I can link you up with him, because if he likes your stuff, then he's local to like the Metairie, Elmwood, like Kenner area. So north of the city, or like north and a little west of the city. So he's a really big whiskey guy in that area. To give you an idea, my friend Tiny there still doesn't believe me that Booker's does picks. And I wouldn't have believed it, except this guy showed me both the bottle, like on the advertisement, and the bottle after he picked it up. And I'm like, that is a blue label, and it's different than anything I've ever seen.
Are you talking about Booker's?
I am talking about a cherry bottle of Booker's with a blue label.
Do you mean, are you talking about what John Ritt got me? This?
No, let me see if I can switch it. No, I'm not talking about what John Ritt got you. I'm talking about an actual charity bottle of Booker's that is not private labeled from another company. So I'll send you the screenshot of the actual bottle pictures from Mike. But he's a good dude. He runs a group down there called BXL Social, and I was trying to hook up with him. If you can get parents to like your whiskey, it's going to be a great advocate. It's going to be a great advocate in that area.
Great, yeah.
And he's local there.
Didn't we meet him at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival?
We did. So I introduced you briefly to Mike, and then I got to take Randy, and Randy's taking off for the evening, but I got to introduce Randy and got to do the bottle share. That was who I sent you the bottle share picks that you couldn't make it that night, but I understand.
We drank too much Lucky 7 with Mike, and I was like, there's no way we're going on.
Yep.
What can you do? You can't be everywhere at once, right?
That's great. Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing you all come Bourbon Fest. I appreciate you actually bringing that up. I've so many things between now and then that seems so far away, but it's actually not that far away at all.
No, it's not, is it?
Yeah, I got a month and a half.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you motivated us. All right.
Nice.
Thanks for answering our questions and coming in tonight. We appreciate your time. I'm glad it was great to have you on, and keep going forward with this, because it's I'm not a fan of cherry flavored or peach flavored, whatever, Jim Beam or whatever, but I am a fan of the Big Easy. That's for sure.
Thank you very much. Yeah, hopefully it kicks off a new level of respect for what you can do with whiskey.
Well, I
Cheers.
mean,
Good luck.
you did have Fred Minnick
Cheers.
review your product, correct?
I did. In fact, what I'm waiting for, Fred was one of the people who tasted my bourbon and gave me good immediate feedback on it. So but I was happy to see that we were in that company for Big Easy Whiskey too, because that to me is just shows that it does have the power and profiles. some
Well,
good,
you just,
respectable
I mean,
whiskeys.
you have the Scotchy Bourbon Boys thumbs up, but you also have Fred Minnick's thumbs up. And when you get that, you got that. You need to the only thing you need to do is figure out how to make more.
Yeah, that's everything that I'm working on right now. That's the reason why I have this computer in front of me, so I can do all the math. I can make it all work.
Good for you.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I
All right.
really appreciate the support.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good one.
All right.
Good to meet you.
Good night.
Pleasure.
All right.
That
That
worked.
was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good. Amy, she used to work at Buffalo Trace through Sazerac, and that's how I got Harlan Wheatley on the podcast. So she was the handler, and she said to me when I was there, she's like, Harlan hates doing podcasts. How the hell do you get him to like come to me and tell me he wants to do a podcast with you? And I'm like, so she's like, I'm not. So she contacted me. She said, okay, so let's do, I think he would be a perfect guy to have on. And so they sent this bottle before Thanksgiving. I've had this bottle for a while, and but we were supposed to do something for the holidays, but I just kept, they send you a bottle, it sits there. I told her I had it, and then I try and push it, but I think it worked out.
Yeah, for sure.
So
And
what
someone
flavor
who's-
is there whiskey there?
What?
Or what was different with this one? I
This
missed
is-
half of the middle of it. So.
Oh my God, this is infused with natural flavors. So this is like drinking Alan Bishop's Black Forest Spirit. I wanted to do this on serious. I want to see what this tastes. Okay.
So we're looking at details though. Like, is it rosemary? Okay, well, yeah.
That's what I was kind of wondering. I'm like, what is infused in this one exactly? Because
Oh, he was talking about all the stuff, all the flavors, clove, and I mean, he has the flavors that you taste out of whiskey put in there. He's got some fruits,
Yeah.
but the whole thing is like Roxy. It's designed to still taste like whiskey, and the 20 different things he's putting in there is to enhance it. Now,
Okay.
I'll give you.
So it's very.
I mean, Allen's is way sweeter. That's way sweeter, that herb one. This one is not as sweet, actually. But so let's see. I do. I'm gonna put it with Neely's absinthe. Let's see what happens.
Oh, that's interesting.
Neely's absinthe is awesome.
That's how fast I can get Rebecca on the podcast right there.
So I was going to ask you, because I just did old Jet.
Look
If
at
you had to pick out like an herbal or a floral or another like spice flavor that you were getting off of it, what would be your primary?
Okay. So it makes it, hey, Ricky,
Yes, sir.
it makes it taste like sweet, like a sugar, like more like a sugar in like a frosting. But then there's this oak flavor that is in there with a little bit of smokiness. So it's not overly sweet. The sugar is not too sweet. So he's balanced this bourbon where it still tastes like whiskey, but then it enhances all the flavors. Like he's got lemongrass in there and all these different herbals, but
Would this be like a chartreuse mixed with like a 100+ proof bourbon?
put it this way. You know how? So this is only 84 proof.
Okay.
When you drink a barrel strength whiskey like Booker's or like a barrel strength Penelope, or a barrel strength Camp Nelson. There's a certain flavor that's consistent to Kentucky. That's there. It's almost like what the wood is, the wood flavor of the barrel strength. But imagine
Basement taste right there.
but imagine
That basement funky
but
taste.
imagine that sweetened just a little bit. He takes it and he, instead of it being like, I just,
I need to come down and try this. I feel like it's a cross between Liquor 43, Chartreuse, and bourbon.
no. The bourbon is there the whole time. You never lose the flavor of the bourbon. This is a good bourbon. All right, so we're gonna put this in, and then I am going to put in.
Did you just crack that bottle today? And it's
What?
already like a third gone?
Yeah, I mean, after the fourth drink, I mean, come on, I'm not gonna trust your shit. I mean, that's where I'm at.
You think if I'm gonna do this is gonna trash my shit? Is that what you said, Rick?
No, I said I'm gonna trust what you're gonna tell me. I think it's gonna be shit after you've had like 4 or 5. Or
No. This is delicious. This is delicious. If me and Matt get together, we're finishing this. I will save this bottle. We'll get together.
That's the same thing I said to my first ex-wife.
Right. He's also putting with absinthe now, Ricky.
Ricky, I think it would be fantastic as.
Oh, God.
Is that chartreuse or absinthe?
Absinthe.
No, that's absinthe.
Yeah.
That's got a picture of Rebecca.
Yeah. I'm not telling you it's bad. I'm just being upfront with you. That's what he's doing.
Here we go.
That was an amazing absinthe for my first absinthe, but that's what he's doing. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Did yours have this on it?
That's a true taste and feel.
Where did you get that?
Exactly what you received.
So I made some friends, and Royce was sitting there at the table, and I was like, it would be really cool if you sign this, I open this, and I drink this with the first 10 people I see. And he said, I think you could do that. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let me get one of those bottles, sign that up for me. We're gonna crack this up, a bunch of people. Because he said, you know what? No one was picking up for this. So I bought it, opened it up, and then all of a sudden the next 5 people bought a bottle. And I'm like, you see, this is how you do marketing. He goes, yeah, but we're not allowed to open that and give that to people.
Hey, Matt.
Good, but that's fun.
Hey, Matt. We need to. So, can you convince your wife to work from a warmer place?
What is your thought process here?
I think me and you can make you into. I think we could make you into the version, the younger version of the brand ambassadors of Freddie Johnson and Bernie Lubbers and Stephen Fonte. I think you've got the ability to take bourbon to your generation.
That would be amazing.
But you would have to. But at one point, you'd have to. At one point, you'd have to convince your wife to move to Kentucky.
Actually, she's almost on board for that because she wants to go to Gatlinburg, and that's pretty close.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but but Tennessee doesn't compare to Kentucky.
It's different. You are correct. It's definitely different.
You just have to be
order where we can reach it.
Southern. Well, I'll give you Elizabethtown.
Bowling Green, probably Bowling Green for Matt. Honestly,
I think Matt needs to be in Fort Knox.
Well, I'm not going to dispute.
Because you're the golden boy.
Oh, we've had some fun, man. We definitely had some fun.
But Bowling Green and Louisville are way bigger if you need access to certain things. And then there's some great stuff on the outskirts of Louisville too. I had some friends that were living in the suburbs of Louisville. Hell, I saw some container houses like near Nulu in Louisville that were freaking insane. That's
what Todd wants to do.
Yeah.
Like, we need to build somewhere in the forest and this, and I'm like, that'd be kind of cool.
Hey,
Like,
Matt,
I can
it would be really cool. Right? We'll start working on it, and then right at the time Walker moves back, and he digs his cave, you guys like that. He buys the land, and you all build on that land. And I'm coming to your family reunion.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's a neighbor I can get down with. I could dig Matt and I being neighbors.
So.
Oh, dude, I'd be so down with
I've got. I think
I have to get yelled at every time I have a party.
So, do I have to bring a tent?
No,
I mean,
well,
it's at a campground. You have to rent a site and either bring a tent. My mom just gets an RV, and then I just get above where the seats are in the RV. I just sleep on the little top thing.
Does Shauna go with you?
Yeah, she comes down for Saturday. It's fun, man. It's really fun. But I'm there Friday. I do a whiskey tasting there on Thursday. So I lead a whole tasting with everyone that comes early, where we're sitting outside the campers. I put like 15, 20 bottles on its table, and we start talking about stuff. They have to start making food and this, and next thing I know, I'm like, all right, I got to start eating and no more drinking. And then I got a 40-minute.
And how much live video do you do?
My live I did there, I didn't do one last year because it was pouring down rain and it just didn't work. The year before, I got 16,000 views on my live, just walking around drinking with my family. Russell's Reserve had dropped, or no, Rebel Cask Strength had just dropped in Ohio. I picked up 2 of them. I walked around and did a half-ounce. 4 of the people talked in this. We had a, 45-minute live, give or take. We ended up, it was light outside when we started. It was, the lights coming down. And
I mean, you saw what they're dropping in Ohio this week, right?
So.
Oh my God.
I need the Ripple Rye, and I need one of those OHLQ crowns too. But
wait, when's the Ripple Rye dropping? When's that happening?
It dropped on Saturday. I talked to Ann on Saturday. Are we still live here?
We are live as hell.
I don't know that you want everybody to know everything that we do for stuff.
Why?
Ripple Rye is dropping this week for everybody. It'll be dropping Tuesday through Friday. It'll be at the stores all around near you guys in Ohio. For me, it's not coming till Thursday at the 2 stores I know, and then
so is it
Wednesday?
So
Wednesday at 1 store it'll be sold out for anything.
So I have a question. Is it allocated or can it just no, it'll be available on Wednesday. Why don't you I'll be able to get that at lunch.
I might be able to try it once, but
so so if I get it, do you want it?
If I can't get one yet, because I had made a deal with Aaron that I have to compare the bottle that John Rick got me from Chicago which is batch 2, with the OHLQ special batch. And then I have to do a versus live, was the deal I made with Aaron.
I can get it.
I would do it, so now I'm doing it.
I'll if it's at my store, I'll get it for you tomorrow.
Okay. Because anywhere around me, it's 30 miles that way and 27 miles that way for me to get it, or in Columbus. The only stores that I see, so I'm like, okay.
It's
and my store that I go to regularly told me it would be till Thursday. So
my places would be tomorrow, and it's 1 mile north.
Just make sure it's a purple label, because on the left side it's green, and don't mix them up. Because the green is one I drink all the time. I love it, but it's not the one that we're looking for. It's purple. Even though OHLQ's picture is green. I talked to Ann about this. I said, Ann, your picture is green. That's not what I'm looking for. And she said, Matt, it's purple. And I'm like, well, the color is green. So it's like, it's the one you're looking for. I'm like, okay. So I said,
can you do me a favor from now on, Matt?
Yeah.
If you say the picture's green and she tells you it's purple, just say okay. Then you go okay. You don't have to tell her that that she's on top of everything.
Oh no, she knew. She said, "I gotta have Macaulay update that picture." No,
I know.
She's already on.
No, that
I've been hunting that bottle for at least 9 months since I knew it hit. I knew it hit, actually, batch 1 hit before the Bourbon on the Banks. Bourbon on the Banks broke open batch number 2.
I'm not.
And it was batch 1. It was
Are
before that.
So when you do the comparison, I want to be on it.
I'm down. I gotta get John to send me that. Where is John, by the way? He's not here.
I think he's probably tired. I don't know what he had going on. I didn't get to talk to him today. So maybe the kids were not great. Got snowed in.
Oh yeah, they're probably way worse off than we are.
No, you are the nope. Tonight, you are the worst off of everybody in the Polar Vortex. Not only are you getting the cold, but you got 5 inches today.
No, I had to plow the driveway between 4 o'clock and right before here when I jumped down with you guys.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's 5
So 4
inches.
that came, yeah, after he got home.
But I'm telling you, it's
You guys
like
need to be quiet. My wife don't need to be hearing all this plowing at 5 inches and shit. Come
well,
on.
not only does he have 5 inches, but he has 5 inches on top of 10 inches.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The 10 inches happened this.
that's worse. That's even worse, Johnny. Come on. I mean, come on. Listen to what you say.
So listen to this, Ricky. Ricky, the Polar Vortex is happening. The Polar Vortex is happening. And my wife goes, I said to her, she's got a girl due, and she's overdue. She's like way overdue. And I'm like,
It'll happen right now.
I'm like, it's gonna happen. So this was on Friday. So Saturday we chopped down. I chopped down the Christmas tree, turned it into the Yule log. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can see that because I did it for everybody to see. But at the same time, we finished up, and it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm beat because not only did I basically sawzall all the branches off, and then I cut them down and fit them into 2 plastic bags. And then she's like, I'm like, we need to go stay at a hotel closer to her because this woman is going to give birth, and we're going to have to drive an hour up to her house. It's an hour away from us, and it's going to be snowing and dropping a foot of snow. I'm like, she's like, let's just go rent a hotel in Independence at the Holiday Inn because we stayed there before. Yeah.
You're right down the street.
I was. And if she would have so we drove up Saturday night and checked into the hotel. We get checked in. So on Sunday, if she would have been gone, I would have contacted you 100%. But no, Sunday all day, we watched the football game. We went over to the Winking Lizard in Independence right there. You know where that one is. And we watched the game. They closed at 4:30. We watched till halftime. Then we went back to we watched the other games and everything. Go to bed at about 11. And 2:30, her alarm goes off. And so she whatever. So I ended up driving her because my granddaughter was going to be off school, and usually she watches her, and they're up there. So I drove her at 4 o'clock in the morning. I dropped her off at the place for the birth. The baby was born by 5:30 in the morning, but right in the middle of a snowstorm. And then I drove to my son's house at 7:30, picked up my granddaughter, then went back to the hotel, which then she called me, come pick me up, loaded the car. We had breakfast with my granddaughter at the hotel, checked out of the hotel, and drove back to Canton. And I mean, it was just like a complete, perfect, not die moment.
There,
Even getting my wife to the birth on time, there was an emergency that happened that would have been devastating if she wasn't there, but she was there on time. So it was just kind of like when she was talking on Saturday night, I wanted to do a Polar Vortex podcast. I was just gonna, I had the video, I had,
I don't think that's a good idea.
Right.
I had,
Some things are for the family. Not
no. On Saturday night, no, we were sitting around before this happened, and I had the picture of me with the Polar Vortex and everything, and I had it all set up, and I was gonna do a podcast, and she's like, "Should we go up to the hotel?" I'm like,
Yeah. Speaking of that, your frosted over face and everything you've got posted
Yeah.
out there.
"Yeah,
I want to say horse cock. That's all I want to say. That is baloney dick. If I've ever seen it all through there.
it's not baloney dick."
No way.
What do
The
you
only thing that was real was the larceny hat, because I had the same one.
The larceny.
I mean, did the ice break your beard off that short? Because it was hanging down.
What did Rick?
It was hanging down. Like longer than my dick, for Christ's sake. It was just hanging down off there. And you came in and got warm and it broke off.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Wait a second.
Wait a second. Here we go.
I'm going to call the baloney.
Wait, Ricky, we're gonna call, you don't, it's not baloney dick, it's AI. So this morning, this morning what happened was I just took a selfie of myself sitting at my desk, and I'm like, oh, what is even that? What's that? Ryan Lit?
Okay. Do you know what this is?
No.
This is big first. Are you talking to me or no?
Yeah, I am. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to say right now, that's not AI right there. That was not AI.
First bottle that Ryan Lynch ever signed for River Roots when they released the 9-year partner. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I was lucky enough to be in there. Ryan, have you signed a bottle yet? And he goes, "Man, we don't make this. I'm like, that's okay. I just want your signature on the bottle so I can say I have the first one online. That's it." And he's like, "All right, man, let's do it." He goes, "We got matching shoes. Let's take a picture." I'm like, "All right, let's do it." So yeah, they call me. They got some crazy shit down there right now. I want to go down, but it's beer week in Ohio here in Cleveland. There's no way I can do all the beer events and hit River Roots and somehow make it standing through the week.
Yep.
No.
Matt, that is, and sell Echo.
So actually, you know what's funny? I had 30 people come on out and tasting. Sold 6 bottles and was pissed off. And like I was like, dude, this is crazy, bro. It is 2 degrees outside. No one's gonna come in here. And he goes, "Man, it'll be fine." And I'm like, okay. So I go in. Within 5 minutes, I sold 2 bottles. I'm like, this is just I don't even understand how this works anymore. This is crazy. And then I'm standing there, and you know what I did? They have this giant crown chair. You ever seen those crowns with like the king chairs where you sit there with the thing? And
It's in New Orleans. I got a bunch of pictures of that shit.
So I'm sitting in the chair. People are walking in the door, and here's me sitting in the crown chair. I'm like, "Hey guys, I got some whiskey. It'll make you warm because it's cold as fuck outside. Let's try some shit." And they go, "Okay."
You didn't say cold as fuck. You did not say cold as fuck. Did you say cold as fuck outside?
I'm saying that now because I had to come.
No, but no. But did you say it to them there?
No.
What did you? It's cold as what did you say there? What did you say there?
Balls.
Okay.
Balls, because then people laugh.
Okay, but I just wanted to let Echo know that you didn't say cold as fuck outside. I'm looking out for you, Matt. I love you, man.
They're gonna come there. they're gonna come see your tasting, and I'm like, I can't wait. We are gonna learn some things because everyone should be doing what I'm doing. This should be cake for y'all. Let's take a walk. This is why when he said the word cake, and I'm like, dude, cake and whiskey go so well together. Because put me in a store with bottles on a table, and I guarantee you I'll walk out with half of them gone before I go home.
But you want to know what else goes together? There's two other things that go together with whiskey.
Well,
No. I will tell you, bourbon with Duncan Hines vanilla frosting. It just goes together so well. It don't even matter if it's a bad bourbon.
Mine is Kroger's macaroni salad. Once I've had too much whiskey, I like the whole big block of it.
No, you want to know what I do? I'll finish the podcast and just everybody will be on and I'll be a little bit toasted. I'll go upstairs and we make the bourbon balls, right, Matt? So I take dark chocolate Ghirardelli little wafers I'll get one of those and I'll get some natural peanut butter just made from peanuts and then Amish butter. I'll actually take Amish butter, chocolate, and natural peanut butter and just chow it.
That's awesome.
I'll wait till
that sounds good.
So the amount of peanuts, man. Peanuts are good.
A gallon of peanuts.
I love peanut butter that's just made from peanuts, and I love peanuts. And then you put Amish butter with chocolate with that, and it's heaven.
There you go.
So you want to know hey, you want to see what Thursday is?
Yeah, what is Thursday? What is that? Your picture's blurry. You must have an iPhone.
Another next day.
Duck Club.
Duck Club. What's Duck Club?
Duck Club is, let me think if I can remember his name. First name, his last name is Williams. And I got to think, oh my God.
He's related to Ed Williams, right?
No.
Somewhere down the line.
No. Macaulay Williams.
Okay. Another Macaulay?
Yep, another Macaulay, and this is Duck Club.
You know, that's one of the last names that's really big in my family reunion from the Scottish side.
Now this guy, Bruce, he contacted me and he's like, you got to do this. I'm like, I'm in. And then I'm like, I haven't gotten, look at the top. It's a shotgun topper.
That's a chill. That's sweet.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between those two bottles you have right here?
What?
What's the difference between the two bottles?
Okay, this bottle is 110 proof. It's called High Brass, and it's their Kentucky Straight Bourbon. And this one here is their regular blend of straight bourbon whiskey, 92 proof. They sent both. What?
Are they copper pot distilled?
I do not believe they are. I believe it's Tennessee. Let me see.
At this point in the conversation,
Yes, Ricky? And your wife?
you shouldn't have to read the label and put your glasses on because we're at this point of just having fellowship and brotherly love and having a little bit of festivities with each other. But you know, if you don't want to put your glasses on and read,
Yeah, Ricky, I'm not going to tell him it's from Kentucky when it's from Tennessee. So fuck you. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I was pretty sure it was from Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee, but I wasn't that sure, so I wanted to make sure. And I will tell
That's
you,
right there on the board.
I will tell you, Walker. I poured this with just a little bit of the absinthe, and it was too much. But
It's too
then
much, okay.
I drank 3/4 of it and dumped some more Big Easy in it, and it was fucking perfect. And we're having fun. I gotta leave. Okay, so everybody, 11 o'clock is where I gotta go. I gotta get it loaded and everything, and I gotta work. And just so you know, Ricky,
I got one question. One question
I-
for you guys.
but wait, I gotta tell you, Ricky, you need to come on the podcast. I love you, man. I love you, brother. And I will even bring I'll bring Greg on if you want me to.
That shit don't matter. I don't mind having a conversation.
No, I know you don't mind to have a conversation. I'll do anything you want.
No, that's good. If you've asked me for the last couple of years. I've been a fan upon this, and I'll be more glad. That's what I tune in to you a lot. And sometimes when you see me tune out is when I realize there's bullshit being said, so I just go on out.
When do we ever wait, Ricky. Wait, so Ricky, you always watch and never turn out because we're never bullshitting.
Honestly, you're not until the second drink, and then you remember when I told me? Do you remember when I sent you a message said you're a cocksucker or something like that?
No, you're thinking of some other podcast.
Yeah, someone out there. I got on somebody. I just.
It wasn't me.
I don't know who it was.
Because I've never. No, if you would have called me.
Because I had 2 drinks before you. I was a little bit ahead. Anyway, it just happens. It happens. I know one thing. I enjoy life. I enjoy people that enjoy bourbon. I've got something I want to share with you. I had an abundance of tomatoes. And from my family's background, we've always been in the timber business and so forth. I took those tomatoes because we all had all the tomato juice, spaghetti sauce, everything we can make. We just had so much. So I was like, well, hell, I'm going to make a mash barrel out of that. And tomatoes made out of what? 58% sugar. So
it's called a fruit.
Yeah.
Right. So I took all these tomatoes and threw it in there, and this 56-gallon pickle barrel I got, one of them, and I threw it in there, and I put it in there, and I set this mash barrel up, and I thought it tastes like shit. I want to tell you, it was some of my yeast went through, and I ran it through the still. The white dog came out, and the hippies loved it. I mean, I said it was organic tomato juice. So anyway, I had some left because I couldn't stand it. I didn't like it. I don't care for tomato juice that much personally.
Wait.
Sure
Wait. You ran it through the still. Why is it tomato juice anymore? It's clear liquor.
It is clear. So then I sell all this. I sell a bunch of it. And given I don't have any license for any of this, they said, why don't you get your license? Because you deal so much. I said, because it won't be fun anymore. It just won't be no fun anymore. I don't want to do it anymore if that's the case. Shit. I just want to start crocheting, for Christ's sake.
But
and
you do realize you need to talk to me.
I've got hold on. Let me move. My phone was going dead, so that's why I moved my position. You guys can see this top guy. I don't know if you can see it or
Yeah,
not.
we almost saw it. Lower. Yep, there it is. You got top and bottom.
Yeah, well, this one here's all tomato juice.
Yeah, that's full as fuck.
And it's oh man, I'll show you the rest of it's down here in my area. And
What are we doing? Did you bury us? There you go.
and I got this tomato guy set in there, and I had this restaurant guy from France come in. He just put this new restaurant in. It's right beside the Greenbrier Hotel and special. He said, I want to buy all of this magnificent whiskey you have. So I didn't buy it right now. And he said, well, I want to buy a lot. And I said, no, I'm going to tell you right now. I got too many drunk buddies. By the time my drunk buddies come through, I'm going to make a red eye, put them right back up on the right spot where they need to be. So get the hell out of here.
I'm telling you, Ricky, you should sell it to that guy because he would cook with it.
Yeah, there's no kind. I piddle with anything. Anything that'll ferment, I piddle with.
Yeah, but
I still go. And I don't want to come on your podcast about that type of stuff. But
why? We're whiskey. Anything. We're about distilling everything.
And you know, I mean, and you know, I go to a different. I've been around with barrels and go to distilleries, and I don't. It's the same concept. Every one. I want to know how you do the first steps. And Tiny, you've heard me before. It all comes down to water. I don't care. I don't care what to do. It's all about the water.
Okay. When you're talking about what you're putting in the bottle, you're understanding. Okay. But but let's just take tonight's podcast. You want to know why this guy is going to be successful? Because there's
an old bastard that's putting the money out in front of him and don't want to talk to him.
No. It was his friend who basically trademarked Big Easy whiskey. He's got the trademark for it. I'm telling you, now, when you put out Big Easy whiskey that's been infiltrated by it's been infused by flavor, not flavored, because it can't be flavored whiskey, and he puts out something like this, which is different. It's got the flavor, it's sugar. You are talking about all it takes, and they're already doing on Bourbon Street. They're doing the hot toddies where they just add hot water to it because it's already got the lemon peel and the orange peel in it. And they're giving it out to everybody. And they're like, what's that? But it's Big Easy whiskey. It could go on every freaking shelf on Bourbon Street. And then you need both. You need both. You need the flavor. But the flavor's there. It's something different.
What's happening is it's killing the barrel industry because our whole world has went from we don't care if it's bourbon. We want it to taste well. We want it to taste to what we want it to taste.
You want it to taste good.
And then look what's going on with Jim Beam. And I want to say there's a lot more coming on. Barrel orders across are dropping.
So just so you know, Ricky, 2
years ago,
you were telling me there was a shortage.
There was a shortage until we started doing infused bourbon. And I want to say Bardstown was sort of the step to start mixing everything and putting it out there. And now you're starting to look, wait, we don't need the bourbon logo.
No,
We
no,
don't need the bourbon logo.
no, but
We need the logo that sells.
you can't. Okay, so actual whiskey is not doing anything different than what all spirits are doing. What the spirit industry is being affected by, don't let anybody tell you anything different, is that the states are making marijuana legal. And marijuana needs 5-6 years to settle in before whiskey and the spirits can come back, because there's a certain amount of people that would drink and wouldn't even touch marijuana, and now they'll spend half their time smoking weed opposed to drinking whiskey or bourbon or vodka or tequila.
Yeah, but that's just even that much more. That's what's going on with the barrel industry.
Yes,
Before
but
we had a barrel shortage.
we're not.
We had a barrel shortage.
Well, we didn't have a barrel shortage. We had the sniff of there could be a barrel shortage. Nobody didn't get their barrels. Everybody got their barrels. But once again, so you had companies that no matter what they did in the barrel industry, what they did in the whiskey industry, it was gold for a long time. Now you have to actually have somebody with business experience sell and promote what your business is. So now there's competition for the barrels, where before everybody wanted, right? Before everybody could sell every barrel they made. I would say, you still work for the West Virginia Great Barrel Company?
Yeah, I'm still a partner in that.
Okay, but what I would tell you is, you know what happened to Greg.
Oh, I know exactly what happened to Greg.
And
Same
that
happened to me. Greg and I are on sort of the same strip.
Right. And
the main thing is Greg didn't have ownership, and I do.
Right. But at the same time, Greg knew what you needed to do, what everybody needed to do. I'm looking at what's happening right now. That $599 bottle of Cotton Club that they were selling, the Canadian 25-year-old fucking whiskey. Right now, I can walk in the store and they want $199 for. And eventually, it'll be even less than that, because
it will.
Because
it's all going to drop.
No, it's not all going to drop. Buffalo Trace ain't going to drop because they never went up. I mean, for fuck's sake, everything at Buffalo Trace was $39.99, $34.99, $28. It wasn't that, but then secondary was making all the money.
Under the $50 threshold.
Yeah, right. But everybody thinks that Buffalo Trace is like $200 for or $150 for a Weller Reserve. No, it's $25.99. It's secondary. So Buffalo Trace never fell into the trap of that stupid bourbon boom, and they're gonna come out of this smelling like roses. Now, I don't care what you say about Beam. Yes, they made the decision to shut down the Claremont plant, but they're shutting it down with purpose. All I got to tell you is what's bullshit about this.
I agree.
I'll tell you what's bullshit. They laid nobody off. Okay, they shut a whole plant down, but they laid nobody off. That's not.
They have a plan.
No, but they have. I mean, you drive out of Frankfurt and you make a wrong left turn and you end up going by the old Granddad distillery, which doesn't have anybody who's touring. but that's where Basil Hayden and Old Granddad is made. And then, they can defer some of it to the Boston plant that they just refurbished. And they're not shutting down their craft distillery, which basically Freddie just built because they know allocated bourbon is where it's at for making a shit ton of money, right?
Yeah.
The key the key in the end is there's no allocated Maker's Mark yet. And when Maker's Mark starts doing allocated, we'll see.
The sell rate is, but so the same company, different side of the house. But I think when you're talking about Jim Beam and their staple has been white label. And then you've got a whole bunch of other things that come out of that plant. When we're talking about the Claremont plant. And let's say that it hasn't been shut down for 30 years. I have no clue.
No, it's like there's no documented thing. They haven't shut that plant down since the 70s. I mean,
Right.
We're talking 50 years.
Right. So let's say that you want to retool that plant, and Fred and Freddie and others are dealing with the fact that they can't do that with it online. And you want to retool that plant. So, okay, how big are your fermenters? I have no idea. But let's say you got 30,000 gallon fermenters and you want 50,000 gallon.
No, they already have 45,000 gallon fermenters.
You
Yeah.
got 45,000 and you want 60,000 gallon fermenters. Okay, how can we do that? Well, we got to shut the plant down. Okay, I got the fermenters ready to go, but to install them, we got to shut the plant down.
Yeah.
So you got to make all that.
And let's just take Heaven Hill. Heaven Hill basically said to their workers, "We're building this new plant, but we're doing no new hires. You guys are going to handle it." And at first their workers were like, "Fuck that. We're already working." And then all of a sudden now they look like fucking geniuses because
Of course they do.
no, they're slowing production down in other places, but they're gonna distill there. They don't need more people. They were like right spot. Heaven Hill was right spot on with that new distillery.
Yeah. You bring it on at one shift a day.
I want to jump in here just a second. When you go through it, we have 4 stave mills to produce staves for West Virginia Great Barrel County.
Mm-hmm.
We supply barrel.
That's amazing.
To different one. Well, they're all shut down,
All of them.
and every one of them.
So where are you
They're
getting your
down, they're idle.
staves? From the
Buffalo
season.
Trace.
The season staves are.
No, it's coming through from there because that tells you how bad. And back to your comment, Tony, when I told you before about wood being a problem with barrels, now everyone paid too much for their wood to build these barrels. And now the demand has dropped.
Okay, I agree.
With the demand dropping on wood, we don't need it. So mills are being cut. And if you guys follow the industry, Speyside shut down operations. And can I tell you the smartest company out there in the barrel making business is Brown Forman.
Yeah.
And they got out of it completely, and they were able to suck into. They were very smart. As it came down to this point, it comes to a point now that we're all trying to survive.
You'll survive because you do need. It's not okay. The demand hasn't. Okay, there's a panic just like there was when there wasn't going to be enough barrels. Okay, there's a couple things that are going to happen over the next couple of years. So when you started, your demand was this. Now it peaked and it's dropping down, but you still have to make barrels because there still needs to be whiskey made because whiskey hasn't gone from 12% of the market. They're still at 12% of the market that dropped 5%. So the market for alcohol has dropped 5%. One, based off of the whiskey thing is kind of slowing up a little bit. When it comes to Jim Beam, and I won't say it's slowed up as,
Just say your main players. Your main
but
players. I'm
but
fine.
even Buffalo Trace, they're making enough bourbon now. They've increased their production to meet the demand so that they can put it back on the shelf, where it's been off the shelf for the last 2 years. So all of a sudden you're going to be able to put what I want. And now from a consumer standpoint, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me, because they're all of a sudden they're making way more Pappy, they're making way more Wellers, foolproof. They're making all these things, and I'm going to be able to purchase that off the walk in. Instead of paying $60, it's going to drop down to $40, and I'm going to be able to walk in on the shelf and buy a Weller foolproof for $40 because they're making enough. They finally reached the demand. But what they haven't reached the demand for is they've taken the bourbon industry and they haven't reached the demand for allocated older bourbons. So when this started, nobody wanted a 19-year Old Fitzgerald. That's not what anybody was in it for. But right now, this last year, I bought a 21-year-old Knob Creek. Knob Creek was fine at 9 years old, right, Matt?
Knob Creek was fantastic. 9 and 12, they're both perfect.
Yeah,
15 was good. Then 18 I thought was too much, and then 21. I don't know how 21 came back and killed it. I'm like, well, fantastic.
What?
But
I want to go back. I know where you're at with this story, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
But that doesn't help the barrel industry, a 21-year-old bourbon, because that barrel was made 21 years ago.
No, here's what hurts the barrel industry. Here's exactly what hurts the barrel industry. New houses. I mean, when it comes down, wide barrels are made out of white oak, which comes from the forest, and they're white oak trees. But look at our housing markets. Interest rates have been high. Who's going to build a new house? And now when they build a new house, they're building it out of plastic. I mean, what's your floor made out of? It's laminate flooring.
Yes, because of the
number one
and so it's because why has that happened? I'm going to ask you that question because honestly, my mom had an oak floor. Okay?
Yeah.
Oak floors are a bitch to take care of. Laminate floors handle everything, and it's not a bitch to take care of. But the reason why laminate came into effect is because there was a shortage on oak. There wasn't just oak was like way up here and laminate's way down here, and you can and laminate got in there because they could sell it for way down here opposed to way up here, and people were like, well, that's kind of cool, and they got used to it.
Wood's a luxury product.
Not yes, but it's also a hardwood floor in this day and age to keep clean. I mean, it's durable as hell, and if you don't want to keep it clean and beautiful, it's the greatest floor there ever was. But that's not what people do. It's a luxury product. So they're like when their kid spills, like my mom, my sister spilled milk on the floor. She lost her ever-loving mind. It's just like,
and with the day and age that we're in right now, the wives of our relationships are like, hey, I want to change the color of the room. They also want to put a new laminate floor down for $600 and then have a whole new color and change stuff. It's all in the same thing. Like,
there you go.
They all want to buy this color thing.
Well, guess what's going to happen, Ricky? All of a sudden, there's going to be a lot more oak on the market. Oak floor.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. And now I want to tell you why you're wrong.
Why am I wrong?
Because you're wrong is you built your whole house now becomes laminate. You're You're looking at plastic cabinets that all are white, look like a hospital room. Your kitchens or your bathroom.
Well,
your
it's not
bassinets,
usually
everything.
plastic. It's usually press
Well,
board.
There you go.
Sawdust. It's made out of sawdust that you guys that you give to all the sawdust companies.
Yeah. Well, but they're going out. So now that demand's not there, there's no market for the loggers to cut the wood.
Well, I'll give you that.
I'll tell you,
But
the
that'll be
logging
but do
industry
you want to
has
know what
suffered.
that'll be? The best thing that ever happened to the bourbon industry long term. Because guess what? I had Cathedral made from barrels that were cut down from 300-year-old French oak, and it is fan-fucking-tastic. And if we meet up, I will bring that bottle for you to taste.
But the other part, what I'm getting at, Jeff, is there's the industry's dying.
No, it's not, Ricky. Know why? Because there will be
The timber harvesting industry.
No, it's not.
Go out and cut trees.
You guys will wait. You guys will figure out. The barrel makers will figure out what you need to do. You'll figure out how to age vodka in wooden barrels.
I think it's like
You guys will
think it's
figure
too much
out
of a
what to
recession
do.
right now.
I swear to God, you were telling me 2 years ago, Ricky, that there was going to be a barrel shortage. Now there's going to be. Now it's a barrel glut.
Can I tell you right now? It's still going to be a shortage because we're not going to have the wood and the barrel price and the bourbon price. What did you just say a while ago? Bourbon prices are starting to decline because there's abundance.
Yes.
And
well,
now here's what's happening with American taste or our culture. We want it flavored. We want to mix this. We want to blend this. We want to do this.
we want secondary barrel finishes.
They're going to use, and they're going to use used barrels. So as they're using barrels we've already used before, that's not improving the culture.
Well, but look at. That's why there's 300-year-old oaks in the French oak. The French oak forests have 300 years oak because whiskey at one point new barrels didn't work and they had to start buying bourbon barrels from America so they could make scotch when used bourbon barrels. I'm just telling you, I'm telling you, in 2 years, we'll have a different conversation. I promise you. They'll be like, beer is starting to be aged they'll start aging beer in brand new oak barrels. You know why they made, why do you,
involved in all that too, they do it.
But you know, Ricky,
brand new barrels as well.
But you know, Ricky, I'll tell you this. The reason why bourbon was, when it was determined what bourbon needed to be, the 1964 Congress, where they made it that it had to be a new oak barrel, was based off the fact that they had made all these new oak barrels to put gasoline in, and they, in 1950 whatever, they invented plastic, and they could make plastic barrels to put gasoline in. They didn't have to make oak barrels, and they had millions of oak barrels just sitting around, and Congress is like, well, what happens if we make bourbon that it has to be made in new oak barrels? We'll get rid of all these millions of oak barrels, and there you go.
But the same concept. It's here you go. Right now.
I'll tell you something else. There'll be a barrel glut.
I have 4 stave mills shut down.
Okay, but you guys shouldn't shut them down. You should make an inventory and then put it up, and there'll be something they're going to put in those barrels, whether it be syrup for the whole country or whatever. Somebody will figure out what to do with those barrels.
no, we got 320 people out of work right now because we laid them off. And I mean, it's a struggle. I'm telling you. Yeah,
Yes, I get it. I get it's a struggle, but you guys, the barrel companies will figure it out. They'll start pulling it back out, but it'll give the oak chance to catch up, to be better. You give it 4 or 5 years, whatever, there'll be a need for it again.
And the problem is not what we give it. Well, the banks give you 4 or 5 years. You think what it costs to start a cooperage or a mill or anything, and the mills there.
Aren't you guys beyond the banks? You should be on the beyond. No.
We are not.
Okay. Well, I mean,
we are not.
But I mean, but you have
honestly,
aging staves, right?
Not just us. It's not just us. It's almost. We're a network of very thin people when it comes into the bourbon or the staves and the mill guys.
Well, what I would say is before this, Kentucky was kicking ass, and all you guys, but what you need now is the rest of the country to start kicking ass.
Yeah, how's that going to happen? Can we put barrels in a vape? That would be. That's where I'm at.
I mean, you can probably pre-roll them if you want it, because that's all over the place. You can go right down the street now, and there's a pre-roll store right here. I'm like, this is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's all going to roll around, though.
It's ultimately what's cutting down because the persona of what we need, and I want to tell you, the smartest people, the smartest distilleries in this whole business are the companies, in my opinion. I'm going to go right back to Brown. I'm going to go back to Brown Foreman.
Yep.
That's Woodford Reserve.
And it's Old Forester. And it's Jack Daniels.
Those guys.
Why can't they age stock in a brand?
Thanks everybody on YouTube. We're going to cut out.
They know exactly what's going to happen.